And we are back live on the Cowboys Report. It is the maybe tradition going forward. It's the second year that we've done this. The 3-round entire Chat Sports NFL mock draft. Hosts handling all the different picks for the first 3 rounds. I will be in charge of the Cowboys picks. We will have those picks come in about every minute, the occasional break, and we'll see who the Cowboys can end up landing. Different changes this year. Producer AP behind the scenes, and then Billy over there in the corner as well. He's doing the Bengals and Colts picks for this one, but he's in our studio for seeing the graphics. You're going to see a lot of our draft graphics, this also kind of works as a let's see if it breaks type of deal, which is something we're also keeping an eye out for, of like, can it handle it and make sure we don't have issues nights of the actual draft. Different change this year as well. Trades are turned on. Now, the rules were they had to be agreed to in principle beforehand, and it did require approval essentially. But today's show is made possible by Prize Picks. The playoffs are here for basketball, baseball is underway, and it's time to cash in with Prize Picks. Prize Picks is America's #1 sports picks app and the best place to win cash while watching sports. It's available, by the way, in all 50 states. So wherever you're at, you can get in on the action. The app is incredibly simple to use. You pick more or less on a few player stats and lock in your lineup. For example, you can do one like this. Dak Prescott, more than 27.5 passing touchdowns, and Joe Burrow, more than his passing yardage total there. Do both, need at least 2. That gets you into the power play. Get them both right. If they stay healthy, they should be able to get there. Win 3x, that's 20 to win 60 if you're not particularly good at math like me. With the new social feeds feature, you can share Prize Picks with your friends and copy lineups from winners with a single click. That includes myself, producer AP. You can follow us on Prize Picks, tail our picks, or fade them, and get the picks before they even get posted on the show. We got a new user offer for you guys. Download the Prize Picks app today with the link in the comments and the description, and use code HMA to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code HMA to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. It's good to be right. We're about to get to the picks here. I wish we had the Boo Sam as a way, and that would have been super fun there. We'll go through all the first 3 rounds of selections here. We'll do some brief scouting reports there. I am in charge of the Cowboys mock drafts picks. Producer AP will get to try out some of the new draft graphics for you guys as well. Again, there were multiple trades already. A.J. Brown to the Rams for Devontae Adams and a second. And then Eagles sending Mojo Ojomo to the Bears for a 3rd-round pick. The Raiders are officially on the clock here in the Chat Sports company-wide mock draft. As we wait for the Raiders pick, which it's going to be Fernando Mendoza, spoiler alert, Terry Harps says, if you call the Browns for 6, and they said we want Pickens straight up, would we do it and use 12 or 20 on a replacement? See this $35 million in a deal and get a rookie receiver for the next 4 to 5 years. Yeah, if you were getting a top 6 pick for George Pickens, I'm doing that. I don't think there's any chance the Browns would ever consider that. But yes, that is what I would be doing. I would simply trade George Pickens for the 6th overall pick. And I get some combination of Reese or Styles or Bailey or Downs and say, great, thank you. And then I can spend 12 or 20 on Tate or Tyson or Lemon or whichever receiver I like there. Maybe at 20 if there's an edge you like at 12 still. Like, I would do that. I don't think there's any real chance that the Browns would say yes on that front, though. So when we get to the actual draft, this best available here will end up being on the my big board. It's not going to be that quite yet. For the time being, it's essentially Dane's big board. But we have the first pick. It is in. No surprise here. Fernando Mendoza. The goal is supposed to be to make these picks as realistic as possible and draft as if the way that they are going to draft. Mendoza's going to be the #1 overall pick. That is absolutely a done deal here. So Mendoza, the pick to the Raiders. They get their franchise quarterback. I am curious how long it takes for him to start. He's got actually really great size. He's almost 6'5", 236. I don't know if people realize how big he actually is. He won the Heisman Trophy at Indiana. And that is a, wow, There's no way that's right. We have a stunner here coming up at number 2, AP. Which I am.
What do we got?
I am. It should be in. I have the back end sheet pulled up here. So Mendoza goes number 1 to the Raiders. Caleb Downs goes number 2 for the Jets.
Oh.
So a stunner here. Downs off the board at number 2. If that happens in real life, I am going to be absolutely flabbergasted. So Bailey and Reese available here at number 3 for the Arizona Cardinals. There is a trade at number 3. The Chiefs are coming up the board here. So the Chiefs are jumping up with the Arizona Cardinals. We don't that trade is in, by the way. I'm curious what these details are. So Durham is running our Chiefs today. So Downs goes 2 in a stunner. I guess the Jets are jetsing here. Blows my mind. The Cardinals have sent the number 3 pick here to the Kansas City Chiefs, which I don't know what the exact details are quite yet. We might have the big trade details in on that front. I want to see what they gave up. 9-40 for number 3 overall. So the Chiefs are moving up to that 3rd overall pick, and I am now extremely anxious that one of the top defensive players is not going to fall at all. I do not like where we are currently at. David Bailey, the pick here by the Chiefs at number 3 overall. So we've got Bailey at 3 is not a surprise. Caleb Downs at 2, I think absolutely is a surprise. So the Chiefs giving up just 40 to go from 9 to 3. I think that's a pretty good deal there for Kansas City. Titans are on the clock. I really need this pick to be Jeremiah Love. Like really, really badly. Or else I'm going to be in a pretty bad spot. It's not. It is Sonny Styles. So Tennessee at 4 is taking Sonny Styles. So they are not going Jeremiah Love or Arvell Reese. Sonny Styles is off the board here to the Tennessee Titans. So I don't think Marshall's going to take Arvell Reese. I don't think he's going to do that. Would be my hope and my suspicion on that front. But Sonny Styles off the board here at number 4. David Bailey off the board at number 3. So the Giants, so I know Marshall's been trying like hell to trade down all week long. I don't see a report on that front yet. I've got the GFX sheet pulled up, and I'm seeing what Sam is typing there. So what's up? To get Reese? I'm working on stuff. Okay, so the Giants have taken Jeremiah Love at number 5 overall, which I'm not surprised. I know Marshall's kind of fallen in love as of late, jokingly, so to speak, with Jeremiah Love. So Jeremiah Love, the pick at number 5 overall. I need to wait on confirmation. Okay, so details here. I had a trade in place to come up to 6 overall. It was contingent on one of the top defensive players being on the board. I assumed that was going to be Caleb Downs or Sonny Styles. But Arvell Reese is not going to get past the Commanders at number 7 or the Dolphins at number 7, with that trade being a done deal. So I am confirming that. Let me message Sam officially here. Get this in. So I am coming up the board here. I am trading. We're doing JOD, our Browns guy, confirmed the viral trade idea. It was this one. 6-39 for 12-20. So this, I think, is somewhat realistic, too. Like, if this is how the draft unfolds and there's one defensive player left on the board at number 6, I do think Dallas would have a lot more interest in jumping up the board. I am still retaining a top 40 pick. I am getting, I think, a flawless fit for the Dallas Cowboys defense here. I think Arvell Reese would be a fantastic selection to get at number 6. I still have, this is a Cowboys-friendly trade. I'm not really trading both of your ones. I'm also getting back 39. Would you rather have, at the way this is going, Akeem Mesidor and Colton Hood, or Arvell Reese and let's see who's available at 39? I think this is a Cowboys win the trade on the trade value chart side of things. So I am taking Arvell Reese at number 6 overall, and now we have to sit and wait a little bit and see who ends up available. I did not think it was going to be Reese was the guy that was here at 6. I am pretty darn surprised by that one. So I'm going to go ahead and say grade the trade. I'm going to change our pin poll here. Grade the trade up for Arvell Reese. If I can get Reese at 6, I'm doing it. Like, he's actually not necessarily the highest graded player on my board. That's actually going to be Caleb Downs. But if I can get an instant impact stud edge rusher who offers flexibility, I think it has the upside to develop into a super good player. I'm playing him at edge. I almost in kind of a weird way, the fact that he said he was kind of just like doing vibes with his pass rush plan actually makes me feel better about that. Like, oh, he didn't have a plan because he wasn't taught a plan. Well, I can teach him a plan. So Browns, in real life, I think they might want a little bit more. But they said yes. So I'm giving up. I get 39 back as well, and I have 12 and 20. So we'll. I don't want to be sitting there. We'll see who's available. Like, we can kind of like play it out. Like, okay, who would have been the pick at 12 had we waited? I did message Nick. I'm like, I'm going to be mad if all the defensive players, our Dolphins guy, who just jumped up to 7, by the way, if he was going to be mad about, like, the way the board fell. Like, I'm going to miss all the defenders. He's like, Sonny Styles or Caleb Downs will be a Dolphin in this scenario. I'm like, no, they're not, because I already had the deal in place to go to 6. So, Cowboys, I traded up. I took Arvell Reese. Now we wait until we get to pick number 39. Will be the next available one. You guys can grade it in the comments section here. A, B, C, D, or F. It's also the pin poll. Heavy votes on the A side of things. I have yet to see the Dolphins pick. This sucks for Miami. Are they just going to take Mansour Delane? Like, just what they're going to have to do there. So, still waiting on. I see Sam's typing it in now. I'm just going to send this to AP, and you can have the detailed side. So I will say I'm pretty sure that Arvell Reese would have been the pick by Miami. Like, had we not gone up, he was not going to get past number 7. Let me don't touch anything with that, but you can see the picks like when he puts them in with that, AP. So Dolphins are taking Ruben Bain, the edge rusher out of Miami, with the number 7 overall pick. I will be a bit disappointed if, like, you're going to take Mansour Delane, aren't you, Billy? Yeah, I know you're running out of. I was like, I'm gonna be mad if Mansour Delane gets to me at 12. I'm like, oh, but no, he's not. He's gonna be gone. So I think we're about to get to the run on offensive players here with the Saints, the Cardinals, maybe the Commanders, and the Browns. But I feel like the top 6 guys, like Bain was not gonna make it really. Maybe I would have gotten lucky and one of them would have slid to 12. But with that defensive run, I didn't like it. Downs, Bailey, Styles, and then I trade up for Arvell Reese at number 6 overall. I know we're a bit behind on the Super Chats. Don't worry, guys. We'll have some breaks in the action here to get caught up after pick 10. Somewhere in that ballpark is where we'll have the next break in the action. The Saints are on the clock right now. I'm going to start trying to predict the picks. Cornell Tate, right? That's good. AP, is that who you want here?
I'd be between Carnell Tate or Mansour Delane. That's probably who I'd be between.
I feel like it's going to be Carnell Tate. And it is, in fact, Carnell Tate. So, since that first overall pick of Fernando Mendoza and then Jeremiah Love at 5, a third offensive player is finally off the board in Carnell Tate, the wide receiver out of Ohio State. The thing that I am also kind of thinking about, trying to remember here is I'm going to have to see what linebacker or nickel corner falls to me at that pick there, because I'm going to want one of those guys. We'll see how that one plays out. So I also was not keeping track of the picks as they were coming in, which was very bad work of me, but that's fine. So now on the clock, the Arizona Cardinals, they can still get Mauingo or whatever offensive lineman they want to have, which I think is valuable there. Let me get caught up here real quick on some of these. Love. I jumped up for Reese, and then that was Bain, and then that was Tate. Nick S., by the way, we'll go quick on this one, a $5 super chat. Cowboys look at trading down. We are lacking so much on defense, and one player, no matter who it is not going to change that. That's why when I moved up, I got a pick back that was also still going to be an instant impact piece for me. Like, I'm not interested in giving up 4 or giving up like 12 and 20 to go to 4. I'm not interested in that. That's not an idea that I really want to do. That's why I like the idea of getting an additional pick back in the end. So Cardinals are on the clock here at number 9 overall. We're awaiting that particular pick. Things got weird with Downs at 2.
Yes, they
I don't know who made the Jets pick, but we need to have a conversation with them. I thought maybe it worked out fine because that made him take Jeremiah Love. So at number 9, the Cardinals taking Francis Mauigoa. That works out pretty well for Arizona. Like
they trade back, get the guy they wanted already, maybe.
Exactly. I like that one for Arizona. So Carnell Tate goes number 8. Mauigoa goes number 9. The Bengals now get their pick of the corners, I guess, really. Or maybe Billy will go weird with it with Keldrick Falk. Billy is now on the clock. I'm not going to have him give it away quite yet. But that pick is going to have to be in here any minute. Bengals on the clock at 10. Mansour Delane is available. McCoy is available. The Commanders then on the clock at number 11. I have no idea what. It's Sperry. Sperry does weird stuff overall. Sometimes good, sometimes bad weird, but we'll see. And then the Browns on the clock there at number 12. So Mauigoa at number 9, and I feel good about trading up here or not trading up here because, or I guess I traded up. I see Billy's pick has been entered. Mansour Delane to the Bengals at number 10 overall. So the Commanders on the clock now at number 11 overall. All those top defenders we had our eyes on went top 10. In part because I moved up, but I think the Saints would have taken Reese or at minimum on that front. So we have a break in the action until pick number 11. So we'll go to the Super Chat menu. We got a deal alert coming up here, and then we'll do any Super Chats we have not caught up on here. Super Chat menu on today's show. Any Super is a shout-out. $5 is a raffle entry. $10 equals 3 raffle entries. Already got a couple of those today, which makes it oh so fun. $20 is a shot. We did a shot as well. And $50 is a beer bong. Can we do a beer bong today? We haven't done a beer bong in a long time. I think it'd be super fun and entertaining and engaging to go ahead and bust out a beer bong here on today's show. Sorry. Yes. Yes, it still stays up there. Yep. All right, deal alert. This link will be in the comments section and the description of today's show. 20% off Cowboys Report merchandise. This flash sale is available between now and about 5 minutes after the mock draft wraps up. So links in the comments section and the description of today's show. That's chatsports.com/Cowboys Report. 20% off everything that's available. The t-shirts, the hats, the hoodies. It is all available over at chatsports.com/Cowboys Report. That raffle we're doing, you can get yourself some Cowboys gear as well. It can be of your choosing. So if you want the hat and the t-shirt, go get the t-shirt while it's on sale. See if you win the raffle on Monday and then get the hat afterwards. Or just do them both and then get the bonus item. So 20% off all Cowboys Report merchandise over at chatsports.com/Cowboys Report. That link is in the comments section and the description of today's show. That's chatsports.com/Cowboys Report. You can kind of let that L3 ride for a little bit, AP. That deal is available for the remainder of today's live mock draft, which has been a wild one so far. Ecuador man, 3 reaches or best wide receiver reach at 12. If I have to reach, period, I guess give me the top defender. That's why I didn't want to have this scenario of like, Saints end up taking Bain or Reese, and I get completely wiped out, and I'm sitting here at 12 going, okay, do I take what was the pin pull? Do I take Dylan Thieneman? Do I take Falk? What do I actually do in the end? It puts me in kind of a weird spot. So that's why I had the deal in place with the Browns. I feel pretty good about it. And Cleveland can still get Monroe Freeling unless Sperry goes rogue here. So Double J 2288. We're doing another shot here. Let me get you into the raffle first, my friend. Double J 2288. There we go. My most recent mock was funky, and I'm going to trade up to 9, sent KC 12, 20, and 177 for 9 and 29. Miami gave me 30 and a future third for 29. Nice pickup there. I got Delane, Allen, Golday, and Grayson Halton. I sent a future third for Kayvon Thibodeau. That's fun. Funky but fun is maybe a good way to describe it there. I think the 9 is pretty realistic. The future third for one spot was really you kind of finessing Miami. And then, the future third for Thibodeau should be pretty realistic, but definitely unique on that front. So the Commanders at pick number 11, we are back and rolling here, have taken Mekhi Lemon, the wide receiver out of USC. So again, my options would have been, because I feel, I think Lemon maybe wouldn't have been there, but I feel like Delane, Bain, and Reese, Tate maybe would have fallen to the Commanders at 11 in this round, but I don't think Bain was going to fall very far. So that, I am glad I moved up there. I am glad I moved up to, and not have to be picking between some combination of Falk and Thieneman and insert other defensive prospect here. Because I don't think they're going to take Jermod McCoy, so I was not going to take Jermod McCoy because I'm trying to keep it what the Cowboys would do. Jensen, we are behind on super, so be patient. We'll get to that here in a little bit. Don't worry. We did actually skip Jensen, by the way, and this one too. I think Jensen we did not hit. At least I did not verbalize it. Maybe you. I'll always give him a shout out because I actually did not put him in the raffle. So Jensen is great to say. I dislike Bailey as a prospect. Doesn't have that it factor. I think projected top 3 pick has. Guess we'll see. I think part of it is he's not a good run defender, so I get where you're coming from there. I would also argue that this class in general just isn't the greatest, and I think that's a problem for teams. So it is not Monroe Freeling, by the way, at number 12 overall. Spencer Fano off the board here at number 12 to the Cleveland Browns. So would he have taken Fano or would he have taken Mauigoa? I guess we'll never know at 6 there. But Browns get their offensive lineman. I will once we get to pick 20, I will say who I would have picked. It would I probably would have taken Thieneman at 12 because I know there's no chance he was going to get to me at 20 because I'm pretty sure Seeps would have taken him at 18. So I probably would have taken Thieneman at 12 and then hope that is who the Cowboys would have interested because I think he can play nickel. And then I would have had my fingers crossed for Akeem Mesidor falling to me at number 20. So we'll see how that plays out. Rams pick is in. Kenyon Sadiq is off the board. I wonder if Durham's upset that he got sniped on Mekhi Lemon potentially. So Sadiq goes 13. There have been trades today. Mauigoa goes 9. Delane goes 10. Mekhi Lemon goes 11. Fano 12 and Sadiq 13. Rams cannot take Mauigoa because he's off the board in this scenario. I think that would certainly make sense. So Ravens on the clock now at number 14. Some notable players who are left. Venga Ioane. It is Venga. There is an invisible N in how he pronounces his name. Jermod McCoy, Keldrick Falk, Monroe Freeling. If Falk was there at 20, that might be the Cowboys pick, by the way.
Yeah, and as the Ravens, if Joey is drafting like the Ravens would, I feel
Venga.
like he takes Venga. I agree. But if he's drafting like Joey would, I feel like he takes Jermod McCoy
And goes
for
full
other
Tennessee
reasons.
homer?
Yeah.
He did neither. Jordan Tyson off the board, which also I think tracks too, as long as you trust the medical side of it. Jordan Tyson off the board here at number 14 overall. The Bucks, they could be a Falk team, or they could be a Mesidor team, or not landing linebackers. I don't know. Tampa's kind of in a weird spot for me this year. I don't think they need a defensive back. They spent 2 top 75 picks on DBs last year and signed somebody. I don't know. All right. Let's see. All right, Bucks on the clock here. I was told that Marshall was doing a top 20 trade. I don't know who that is with, because it wasn't me. It'd be kind of weird if it was the Jets. I originally thought Carolina maybe. Carolina could be doing weird like that, but who's to say? All right, thank you very much for the $5 super chat, Jensen. We got to the 20 from Double J. Terry Arps, seems like everyone said let's mess with Tom. Downs at 2. I don't know who was doing the Jets, if it was Mike or if it was Seeps, but that was wild to me. That one, excuse me. That was a pretty wild one. By the way, pick is in for Tampa. Keldrick Folk is the selection at 15 overall, which I think is fairly realistic. I know a lot of you guys don't like him, and I get it because there's no sack production. As a run stopper, as an upside play, there is a lot to like about Falk. It's the Mykel Williams conversation all over again. Like that's exactly what it is from previous years. So if I still had picked 20, I'd be looking at Feeneman in an ideal world and Mesidor. Like those are the guys that have my eye on at 20. If I still had 20. All right, thank you, Terry. What was next here? Old Bean, $5 super chat. Let me get you into the raffle here as well, my friend. With all the hype around the Cowboys trading up, or do you think Jerry does the trust me, I know what I'm doing routine? I think that they have interest in moving up, but it is going to be on their terms. I don't think this is, nor should it be, a team that's giving up all these assets to desperately trade up. I think if that's the mindset other teams have, they're going to be a bit disappointed. Now, maybe the Cowboys end up being a bit disappointed if they hear back of, yeah, we're not doing that, we're not going to go down that path, not interested. We're not. If I think everybody involved wants to win the deal, so to speak. I don't know how likely it's going to be for them to win the deal in the end. Akeem Mesidor, there he is, off the board at 16 overall, which means I would have taken Feeneman and not gotten Mesidor at 20, and I would have been pretty disappointed by that one. And that would have been like, I don't know who the hell to take. So that I am now very glad I moved up. In the moment, hindsight, I feel good there. I really hate that draft for the Jets, frankly. Mesidor is an older player for a rebuilding team. Like it doesn't make a ton of sense to me. So like Dallas makes sense. The Lions make sense for Mesidor. I feel like they're going to take Monroe Freeling here. But Mesidor goes 16 to the Jets. And the Lions are now on the clock here at pick number 17 overall. There will be a break in the action, by the way, after pick 20, so stay tuned for that. We have pick 17 in as well, and I think this is going to be, barring something weird when I do my final mock draft, this is what I'm going to do as well. Caden Proctor to the Lions at number 17. There's been some recent buzz as well about maybe some as early as 6 to the Browns. The upside, I mean, look at him. He's huge. The upside is impressive. But we do have a trade. And see, now I would have been kicking myself because I could have maybe waited on Thieneman. The Vikings are trading for Dexter Lawrence in a blockbuster. The Giants getting pick 18 and pick number 94 for Dexter Lawrence. So, I don't think maybe the Giants would take Thieneman. Carolina might take Thieneman too.
Can I just say, holy fleece for the Giants? Can I just say that? Getting a first and a third round pick in this year's draft.
Looks like it's now 97. There was some miscommunication on the compensation, perhaps. But either way. So, Giants jumping up. Who are they going to take? Oh, they're going to take Ioane. Guarantee it. They're definitely going to take Benga. Marshall's talked to me about him like as like a trade down candidate. I bet they're going to take him. I bet they're taking Benga Ioane. So Vikings in the Chat Sports mock draft here, going with the Dexter Lawrence blockbuster. We already had the A.J. Brown trade with the Rams and Devontae Adams, with the Eagles also getting a second. And then Mojo Ojomo heading from Philly to Chicago for a third-round pick. And I was right. It is Venga Ioane, the guard out of Penn State, off the board here at number 18 to the Giants as part of a trade. That puts the Carolina Panthers on the clock at number 19 overall. Very curious what they do here. I have a tough time figuring out what I think Carolina should do. All right, Joshua Castillo, a $5 super chat. Dream trade, our 2 firsts this year, a second can become a first next year, and Brandon Aubrey for the Browns, 6th pick, and Myles Garrett. What do you think? The Browns aren't doing that. 2 1s and, gets you decent ballpark with 6, but you're also throwing in Myles Garrett. Like, you're getting the 2 best assets in that trade. So, an additional first, or 2 firsts, and conditional second and a kicker does not overcome that. So, I don't think the Browns would have any interest in doing that. Aubrey's worth maybe a 4th-round pick. Like, even if it's 3 1s and pick 6 for Garrett, that's not nearly enough there. Brett Stevens, would you be happier with Styles or Downs? My answer is yes. I will not be upset. I think I've long wanted a safety. I think I would prefer Downs, but it's, I got a 99 out of 100 versus I got a 98. Like, am I actually going to be that upset? Dylan Thieneman is the pick here by Carolina. So, again, I feel better about what I did because I would have had to pick here between – I'd have been looking at, do I gamble on the, real red flag stuff for Jermod McCoy? I think I would have taken Thieneman or Mesidor, and I would have gone back and forth on those 2. Colton Hood would be in play here, along with, T.J. Parker and Malachi Lawrence and Cassius Howell and R. Mason Thomas or Peter Woods, and it'd be a pretty weird spot to be in. So I am glad with the way that worked out. Thieneman off the board at 19. Yeah, if I would have taken one of those guys at 12, Mesidor or Thieneman, and the other guy was not going to make it to me at 20 based on the way these results have gone. So the Browns on the clock. Wide receiver? Do they double dip with Monroe Freeling? I doubt it, but it'd be kind of fun. Left and right. There you go. Pick is in. It is one of my favorite receivers this year. Omar Cooper Jr. is the selection here by the Cleveland Browns at number 20, which I'm a big fan of his game. I had a very tough time coming up with negatives overall. So also, I didn't do a shot for somebody. You guys got to call me out on it. I pour the shot and I forget to do it because there's a lot going on. So here we go. Here we go. All right, little break here. We'll get caught up on Super Chats. We'll do some likes as well. Remember, folks, 20% off over at cowboysreport.com/chatsports. We got a $50 Super Chat from Austin Ace. You want to grab me a beer bong and a beer too, Billy? Appreciate that. I said either for Brett. I would have been very happy with any of those picks in the end. Ecuador man Pickens for 1 year. Pick Lemon, score 50. Why not? If you really do get wiped, and that is your best available, okay. You have to score 50, though, because your defense is going to be really bad. But it is what it is. Old Bean, $10. Don't worry, Austin Care. We're getting to yours here in a second. Did a wiped out mock where I traded down. Got Avion Terrell at 24. Rodriguez at 37. Banks at 41. Height at 70. And Kamari Ramsey at 93. Is this the one I use? Grab the one that I use. The blue one, yeah. That one's fine. But Watermelon, nice. Good pick. Look, if you can pull that off, I'd be pretty happy. Ramsey, I think, might be better at safety than he is at nickel. Banks at 41. The value's fine. The foots terrifies me. He can't stay healthy. Super good about it. But Rodriguez and Height and Terrell, I really, really dig those picks. Bang. Thank you, Billy. Appreciate it. Billy says he'll do a beer bong if we get another $50 super chat. Another one. So, Austin Carey, $50 super chat in my PFF mock. Downs fell to 12. 2 is crazy. Then traded down because of how the board fell. 20 and 112 for the Bears. 25 and 57. Took cash out 25. Jadarian Price at 57. Returnability and pair with Williams. I actually, at that point, the value's fine. You're kind of playing with house money, so to speak. I can move on from Turpin. It's a lot to give up for a running back for me. Just a lot to give up. So, we'll get back to the Steelers here. They are now on the clock in a second. Let me do the beer bong first. And Brett Stevens bought 2 awesome shirts. You guys rule. DC for life. Thank you, Brett. I appreciate that. Cheers to you. Everyone type in BS in the comments. It's a little weird, but it works. So, beer bong coming up. Steelers and Sperry. Is he going to go Simpson? Or is he going to try to take like Nussmeier in the third for Pittsburgh? I'm curious what he does. Here. Here we go. Let me grab some paper towels. I don't want to make a mess if I can avoid it. All right. Oh, focus on me. Yeah, do it. Do it, AP. I'm gone, but the shirt is there. Get the shirt that Brett picked up, chatsports.com/Cowboys Report. Blue, black, navy, air picking shirt, hoodie, all available over at chatsports.com/Cowboys Report. Links in the comments and the description of today's show. We're going back-to-back wide receivers, Jack. Casey Concepcion, who I'm a big fan of his game. My big takeaway, which we was it me or was you and I did the OSU or the Miami A&M game, right? Marcel Reed's not good, dude. I'm sorry, guys. I know they're of him. He's not a good thrower. He's a great athlete, super talented, like dual threat. But as a thrower of the football, I'm pretty unimpressed by him. Concepcion's got to work on the drops, but after catch, route running, it's all there. Fits really well in the Steelers wide receiving core. Daniel Lazarevic, excuse me, I almost botched that one for some reason. Let me get you in the raffle here. Here from Israel, why won't trade with the Browns for Garrett? I don't think the Browns want to trade Garrett yet. I do think there's a pretty decent possibility he gets dealt after June 1st, but that does not benefit the Cowboys from a draft compensation perspective. So it feels like a Howie trade to me. Eagles, by the way, on the clock with the Chargers having drafted TJ Parker, the edge out of Clemson here. Still no Jermod McCoy, by the way. Perhaps concerns about the medical and the knee side of things there. No Monroe Freeling yet either. I have my eye because I took Arvell Reese in the first. I have my eyes on linebackers, which they are all available. Jacob Rodriguez, C.J. Allen, the 2 guys I'd look at there, and a nickel corner in some capacity. Maybe Chris Johnson for me, Avion Terrell, D'Angelo Pons, Keontae Scott, Traden Stukes. I feel like the corners stretch better than the linebackers do. So I'm leaning linebacker, but I want to see how the board plays out. Maxi Hanachor is the pick here for Philadelphia. I know that Chase loves him, so I'm not surprised at that one. I do think he needs a year. I don't think he's ready to start. Like, he's got talent. He's got athletic ability. He's inconsistent. I know it says 0 sacks, but like the overall consistency is not yet where I need it to be. So I would probably lean towards. I think he's going to go in round 1. I have a later grade on Hanachor. Like I think I got him in the 2nd/3rd. He'll probably go in the 1st/2nd. Again, I get it. The upside is Tristan Wirfs. The downside is Matt Parrott. If you guys remember him from the Giants, he's bulked up. He's very raw. He didn't play football until 2021. The traits are there. He's penalty prone. I think he needs a redshirt year. But in Philadelphia, that could end up working out pretty great. The Browns are going to double dip on the offensive line. They're going to take Monroe Freeling here at number 24. So the Browns have landed Spencer Fonda to be the long-term right tackle. They drafted Omar Cooper Jr. and Monroe Freeling. at number 24 overall. So I do like I like that trio for Cleveland there. Fano, Cooper, and Freeling at 12, 20, and 24. 3 instant starters for an offense that, we'll see who the starter ends up being this time next year. I bet the Bears are going to take Emmanuel McNeil-Warren here. Fun on the right side, because he played more right tackle last year. He's played left before, but he's mostly been a right tackle. Freeling has been a left tackle over the course of his career. So you just keep him at left tackle and Fano on the right side. I think maybe the original plan was to put Fano on the left side, and then he gets picked 24 to go, wait a minute, no, never mind. We're gonna flip things around there. So thank you. We'll get to some more Super Chats here. Reminder of the Super Chat menu. Any Supers a shout out. $5 is a raffle entry. $10 gets you 3. 20 for the shot, and 50 for the beer bong. Bears pick is in. They're going value. Jermod McCoy is the selection here at number 25 overall. I think the defensive backs can stretch. I'm leaning linebacker depending on how things fall for the Cowboys then. Jermod McCoy, I have heard now from multiple different insiders that teams have flagged the knee. Significantly flagged it. So that is I think the Cowboys brought him in for a 30 to be like, hey, let's see how things are going. If you slide a bunch, if it's a deep slide, how, could we have a redshirt year pick if we trade down to the second or third round? What's the real status there? So McCoy goes 25 to the Bears. The Bills are now on the clock. But first, Gamer Mode, a $5 super chat. Is there a way to get to 6 without spending 12? Would 20 in the latest of the first-round picks next year and a 4th this year do it? I don't know if you can trade your future 1, but in general, future picks are valued 1 round less. So you're offering, let's say it's an early 2nd and a 4, and no, that's not enough. I don't really think the Browns have any interest, unless you're getting a bunch of picks next year, of giving up 6. That can get you to 24, but I don't think you're going to have much success being able to get to 6 without giving up 12. I don't think that's really going to move the needle at all for the Browns. All right, Bills pick is in, and many of you guys are not going to like this. Jacob Rodriguez is off the board here. So Rodriguez goes 26 to Buffalo. I do lean towards him being the 2nd linebacker taken this year. He's not the biggest. He's not going to be a true downhill thumper. He made a bunch of plays in coverage, allowed a decent amount as well, but he's also just a takeaway machine. 7 forced fumbles is absurd. 4 interceptions this past season. I like Rodriguez a lot. For a guy that didn't have very high grades from NFL teams going into this year, the stuff he did, the trophies on his wall now, in his trophy suite, whatever you want to call it, were fantastic. If I'd gotten him to 39, that would have been my pick. Because I think the Cowboys have him a bit over C.J. Allen. So Rodriguez, the pick there for the Bills. Disappointing outcome, I think. We at least traded up and got Arvell Reese. So I've got a super fun chess piece on defense to kind of, in a way, build around. I don't have that many building blocks on defense. Arvell Reese would absolutely be that player for me at 6 overall. Niners pick is in. I wonder if he's going offensive line again, or is he going receiver? Friggin' Chase took the top guy available. Emmanuel McNeil-Warren, the safety out of Toledo, is the pick at number 27 overall. I didn't think he was going to get to me at 39, but I'm like, I'll do it, and I'll see if he can actually play nickel corner for me. Kind of what I was leaning towards ever so slightly. So Emmanuel McNeil-Warren, the pick there at 27. I will say, because of how I'm trying to do what I think the Cowboys would do, if Colton Hood lasts 10 more picks and he's on the board at 39, that is the pick. Because I think that is who the Cowboys would take as well. Doesn't really fix my nickel or linebacker spot. I'll pretend I trade a future pick for Jordan Brooks maybe. But I think that is who the Cowboys take. Because I think they would take him at 20, depending on how the board falls for them. So we have a trade to announce as well. The Patriots are jumping up with the Houston Texans I would say the pitcher going to take a receiver, but Devontae Adams got traded for A.J. Brown earlier today in the mock draft. Texans move down 3 spots, pick up 125 overall in the trade. So New England on the clock here at number 28 overall. There's got to be somebody that he wants. It's a new tackle in New England. Caleb Lomu, the pick here for the Patriots at 28 overall. So the Patriots, maybe they'll kick Will Campbell inside the guard now in this scenario. Or I guess he could try him on the right side, but he was a left tackle for Utah. I feel like that's a better spot to keep him at there. Needs to add some power here. But it's just a upside swing for the Patriots there. So Lomu at 28 as we begin to wind down round 1. Reminder that Billy said he would do a beer bong with me if we get another $50 super chat. Well, maybe we can do that one if we get a third one, AP. Space it. You're good. If we get a third one, you can do it. So second one is me and Billy. Third one can be me and you. It's perfect. Caleb Lomu, 28. This is not the Chiefs. This is the No, it is the Chiefs pick because somehow they got up to 3 without giving up the other first rounder, which was, I think, a fleece by Kansas City. So Chiefs on the clock here at number 29. They took David Bailey earlier in a trade-up. There's a lot of corners left on the board. Johnson, Terrell, Colton Hood. Ecuadorian with many holes on D. Why give up assets? Need more picks. I'd rather have one great player and one good player than 2 good players. That's what it's going to be, right? Like, I don't like the idea of giving up picks. I didn't actually give a pick, though, with that trade. I kept my picks still. I just shuffled where they were at. Like, I'm going to get a good player at 40 or at 39. I've got so many second-round grades here. One of them will be a good one. It wouldn't have been Mesidor or Thieneman. They both were off the board there. Also, the guy that I would have taken at 20, had he been there with, I think the Cowboys would do it. I don't love it as much. Colton Hood is the pick here for the Chiefs at number 29 overall. So Hood off the board. I've still got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10-ish players on defense that I would happily take at 39. We're at pick 31, so you guys do the math. There's going to be a good defender there for me. It's fine. One of them did go, though. Chris Johnson off the board at number 30, the cornerback out of San Diego State. I am a big fan of his game. I don't know if he offers nickel flexibility the way that I would like to bring him in and have one of those players help out in that area, but I do think that is a good plug-and-play option at corner on the outside. I like the pick a lot for Miami. Again, would have been strongly in play. I'm looking at Avion Terrell. I'm looking at D'Angelo Pons. Thinking about a Brandon Cisse or a Keontae Scott or Traden Stukes. But there's a lot of defensive backs I like. And then I'm looking at C.J. Allen and maybe Anthony Hill at linebacker here. Jake Golday, I don't love at 39. I have Hill and Allen ahead of him. Caden McDonald is the pick here at number 31. I guess I could consider Peter Woods and some edges, but I don't really want to do that either there. I had kind of suspected that Chugs would be taking a defensive lineman. By the way, this is the first defensive tackle taken in this mock draft. First one. No Peter Woods yet. None of the other interior defensive linemen have gone off the board yet. Reminder, folks, the draft is in a week. If you are excited for it, show it by liking today's video, please, and thank you. The Steelers are moving up the board. Is this going to be Ty Simpson? You get the 5th-year option, you take the quarterback? Steelers are giving up 53, 76, and 121 to go up and get pick 32. So Seattle, who is light on draft capital, gets 3 draft picks. They moved on a bunch, but they get a top 70 76th pick, 121, and 53. I bet they can still get Jadarian Price at 53 overall, or at least they'll have a chance at him. This has to be Ty Simpson, right? Has to be. Has to be. It's a lot to give up. It's not. Wow. It's not. It is. I actually think is the better guard of the two that have been linked here, or the three. Emmanuel Prignon out of Oregon, the pick here by Pittsburgh. That's an awful lot to give up for an offensive lineman. That's quite a bit. I don't know how much later he would have lasted, because I know like the Giants have a guard, so maybe they wouldn't be as intrigued with that one. That is an aggressive trade up for a guard by Pittsburgh, and that's Jack Sperry, by the way, in charge of that. So round one has come to a close. Let's run through the picks, then we'll tell you guys about prize picks here. Fernando Mendoza, round one, pick one. Caleb Downs to the Jets, the first stunner. We did turn trades on with all the different chat sports hosts. David Bailey goes number 3. Sonny Styles goes number 4. Jeremiah Love goes 5. And then I had a deal in place. If there was a defender left, I would jump up. And there was one of the guys I said I would do it for one of these 4 players here. Arvell Reese goes number 6 to me and the Cowboys. I jump up to acquire him. Ruben Bain to the Dolphins. That was a trade up that was already, they had already done the trade up before I jumped up for Arvell Reese. So that was they did not put conditions on it. It was a slight mistake there, I think, by the Dolphins. Carnell Tate to the Saints. Malmingoa to the Cardinals. Mansour Delane to the Bengals. Mekhi Lemon to the Commanders. Spencer Fano to the Browns. Kenyon Sadiq goes number 13 to the Los Angeles Rams. Might just be the 4s for whatever reason, or it's bunched in 4s there. Yeah, but it's not actually pulling it. Oh, there it is. There it is. And then now I see how the graphics design. Now I see how it's designed. Kenyon Sadiq goes 13. Jordan Tyson goes 14. Keldrick Falk to the Bucks. Akeem Mesidor to the Jets. I don't really know what the Jets are doing, frankly, but whatever. 17 is Caden Proctor. As part of a Dexter Lawrence trade, Venga Ioane goes to the Giants at 18. Dylan Thieneman goes 19. Omar Cooper goes 20. KC Concepcion goes 21. TJ Parker goes to the Chargers. Maxi Honachor to the Philadelphia Eagles. Double dipping at offensive tackle, Monroe Freeling to the Browns. Jermod McCoy to the Bears. Jacob Rodriguez to the Bills. Emmanuel McNeil Warren to the 49ers. Caleb Lomu to the Patriots, part of a brief trade up. Chiefs get Colton Hood. Chris Johnson to Miami. Caden McDonald, Emmanuel Prignon rounding out round one. Of note, by the way, we are doing the viral trade idea. It was 12 and 20 for 6 and 39 on the trade. So I will be back on the clock here at pick number 39 in a couple of minutes. But first, today's show is made possible by Prize Picks. It is simple to use. And look, the playoffs are here for basketball. Baseball's underway. You can do season-long football ones as well. It's time to cash in with Prize Picks. Prize Picks is America's #1 sports picks app and is the best place to win cash while watching sports. The app is really easy to use. You pick more or less on a few player stats and lock in your lineup. For example, one of the lineups you can do, how about some basketball action? Jaylen Brown, more than 36.5 points, rebounds, and assists. Victor Wembanyama, how about a double-double? I mean, come on, he's going to do it. It's Wemby against Portland. I feel like that's a no-brainer. That's why it is, by the way, it is the Goblin more than less than. So the payout isn't quite as high, just 2.2x, but hit those both, 10 becomes 22. I think it's a pretty good deal there. With the new social feeds feature, you can share prize picks with your friends and copy lineups with a single click. That includes myself, producer AP. You follow us on Prize Picks, tail our picks, or fade them, and get the picks before they're even posted on the show. New user offer. Download the Prize Picks app today with the link in the comments and the description. Use code HMA to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code HMA to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks It's good to be right. And we got a blockbuster trade before round 2 gets going. Houston has acquired Kyle Pitts for a 5th and a 7th. So Houston all in while C.J. Stroud is on a cheap contract. Atlanta picks up an additional 2nd rounder on that one. So that is the movement going on that front. Pitts to Houston, Atlanta at pick number 59. A lot of movement there. The Jets are now back on the clock here at number 33 overall. We'll get to William Cook's Super Chat here in just a second. Let me get you into the raffle as well, William. We'll do the raffle on Monday, by the way. Monday's live show, we will have the raffle. Jets on the clock in the meantime. William thought the draft would be more realistic. The picks by the Jets and Titans do not seem realistic. I think the Titans pick is realistic, actually. I get the downside, but also part of a realistic draft is that stuff surprises us. If we had mocked Tyler Booker to 12 last year, I don't think anyone would have called that one realistic. Like, trap sheet, so it's a fake draft. That is what a mock draft is, yes. This is not the real draft, to be clear on that. I think everyone knows that. But there are always weird, surprising things. And if you want to just feel better about it, just like shuffle around Styles, Downs, and Love. Like, pretend Styles went 3 and Downs went 5 and Love went to the Titans and ends up being similar enough in the end. The draft is getting a bit unhinged. I do agree with that one. I was not anticipating the amount of player trades. Let's put it that way. That one I was not prepared for. Now I see why Sam was so stressy about picks before this. So, Jets at pick 33 have secured their wide receiver, Denzel Boston. So I'm gonna do a quick pin poll here because we got about 6 picks before we're back on the clock at 39. Who would you take? And we'll give you all the options here. All the options. Make the pick at 39, just to give you guys some chances to vote here. Pick, height would be great. Do C.J. Allen, linebacker from UGA. Avion Terrell is still there. Cardinals have made their pick, by the way. That is going to be Malachi Lawrence off the board. So there's an edge option. Not that we would be double dipping at edge necessarily. I'm going to put in D'Angelo Pons. And then I'll put in Anthony Hill. I think we're okay right now. Because those are some of the top guys that I've got my eyes on for. Terrell, Allen, and more. So you guys can vote on those. I think I lean C.J. Allen. Just because I think the linebacker class is good, but I would also think, like, if I don't take a linebacker, Jake Golday, Anthony Hill, Trotter, and Lewis they're not going to get to me at 92, I don't think. So I'm looking at, like, Keyshawn Elliott, or maybe he's there, or guys that would probably be there for me in the 4th round, like Caleb Alarm-Zor or Harold Perkins. So I lean C.J. Allen. It's a question of does he get to me? Tennessee has made their pick, by the way, at 35 overall. That is Blake Miller. The offensive tackle has gone off the board at 29. To be honest, GKD wants to drug test people. We do not do any of that, so you guys are welcome. I thought it was going to be Styles or Downs. I'd be staring down Cassius Howell or Mason Thomas here. Like, I would have felt pretty good about that because I thought it was going to be Downs or Styles would be a Cowboy in this mock, not Arvell Reese, but I'm very happy to get Arvell Reese somehow. I feel like I finessed those boys. So we'll see how it plays out. Peter Woods would be in play, but I'm not trying to draft two front 7 or 2 front 4 players or front 5 players, however you want to call it. No drug testing, but there've been some wild ones. So, all right. Thank you, GKD Records. Reminder, another 50. Billy will do a beer bong as he's getting closer to be on the clock. I am glad that I'm picking ahead of the Bengals with this, and because he's sitting over here hearing all my strategies, all my planning. JW Chosen, Downs or Styles in the deepest linebacker class of all time? I don't know if it's the deepest linebacker class of all time. I think it's really good, but I do think it also kind of the spacing of it doesn't align that great for the Cowboys. Let's put it that way. The spacing is unideal. It's meaty between like picks 30 and 65. But the Cowboys have no picks. But I'd be happy with either guy. Like I think I have to go with the Downs to Dallas. Well, we can do Downs to Dallas t-shirts, or it's always sunny, SONNY, in Dallas is the plan. So, all right, pick is in for the Raiders. Peter Woods is my guess. Oh, right position, wrong player. Christian Miller, the defensive tackle out of Georgia. Hey, if you want, I think he could go round 1, by the way, but I think he goes top 50 pretty easily. I think as a run-stopping defensive tackle, that guy certainly makes sense. All right, Giants. Oh, they're going to snipe me on C.J. Allen. They might snipe me on C.J. Allen here. Giants and Houston. Then we are back on the clock here at number 39 overall. Allen has lead 50. You guys want edge. Allen, then Anthony Hill, Terrell and Pons both getting 11% of the votes. I think in the end, I didn't realize it. I put them in the order I would take them. Allen, Terrell, Pons, and Hill. Even though I do love Pons. So we'll see what the Giants do. They've taken offense so far. Jeremiah Love, Venga Ioane. Could they go receiver? They're going to that's right. They traded away Dexter Lawrence. I forgot about that in this mock draft idea. They traded away Dexter Lawrence. They have a new Clemson defensive tackle, and that is Peter Woods. So Peter Woods heading to the Giants. Love, Ioane, and Woods. 5-18-37, as they did give away the pick for Dexter Lawrence. Now we wait on Houston. They are on the clock here at number 30. It's actually part of the Laramie Tunsil trade a year ago. Everyone, top of the ledge at the minute 12. You can always talk yourself into, hey, we took the guy that Christian Parker wants. I think he can play nickel. Now, if you don't think that, it's not as appealing. But go watch some of the Purdue film when he was actually targeted more. It was super impressive. Pick is in. Let me message Sam. Pick is in for Houston. Keelan Rutledge is the pick by the Houston Texans at 38 overall, the offensive lineman, which I do think makes some sense. So Rutledge off the board. Cowboys on the clock here at number 39 overall. I'm going to set up the new pinned poll. I have submitted that pick. Let me get the position and the team in there. I don't want to say it yet until it comes across because it makes it more fun. Here we go. Pick is in. I did take C.J. Allen, the linebacker out of Georgia. I do still have the lingering medical concerns. I don't know how much I believe the 4.47 40-yard dash time, but the Cowboys have made a big deal about finding players whose brain works. I don't know if there's a smarter defensive player, maybe Caleb Downs, than C.J. Allen. Not only was he like calling the green dot stuff for Georgia, he was literally calling the defense. Like, he picked the plays that Georgia ran. He was the coordinator. It was insane. I think he thumps. He reads the run well. He does bring some juice as a blitzer. I don't think he's ever going to be a special elite coverage player, but in kind of like a lesser Roquan Smith mindset, he's tough. He's smart. He doesn't make mistakes very often. There is the one coverage rep against – anytime you see a coverage rep of Allen, it's the Auburn play, where he was great that game. Like, he won them that game. He was the one who forced the fumble on the goal. Remember that play? Allen was the one who actually knocked it loose. He, receiver cuts across his face and then does, a whip route, and Allen, stays with him while, pivoting and turning upfield and breaks the pass. Should have picked it off, frankly. So I have gotten Arvell Reese and C.J. Allen. The Georgia defense from Brendan is right. It wasn't good. You know why it was not good? They had 0 pass rush. And they lost their transfer, by the way, to a torn ACL, if you guys didn't see that. It was that we've had a couple Georgia defenders going. It was not the front seven's fault. Interior-wise, they had no pass rush use. I love C.J. Allen. I think this, as long as the knee checks out with the medical, which I think is a big red flag, I am a huge fan of this pick. So essentially, I've turned what probably would have been, Akeem Mesidor or Dylan Thieneman, and either Colton Hood if I took Mesidor, and I don't know if I would have taken at edge. The edges were not very good. I would have been pretty upset by that. I would have kind of gotten smoked. I don't know who I would have taken at edge. Let's just pretend it would have been Mesidor and Hood. That's probably what I would have lent to. Mesidor and Hood, or Reese and Allen. Give me Reese and Allen every day and twice on Sunday, especially. Pick 40 is in here. This is the Cardinals pick they got as part. Oh, wait, did we miss? I got to make my own pick 39, tracking it on my end. Thank you, C.J. Allen. Chiefs, this pick went to Arizona. They took D'Angelo Pons, the cornerback out of Arizona. I think at this point, we are essentially on, does a nickel fall to us at 92? And if it doesn't, Billy, what do you want for Kenny Moore after this? Think about it. So Pons goes 40. Do we have the clip? We don't. You can't do trades right now. Trades are canceled. Make your pick. Oh, pick is in from Billy. This is for the Bengals. Edge. You had to take an edge, yeah? How? Oh. It'll play. Oh, R. Mason Thomas then. Okay. Bengals have taken. Billy's are doing Bengals Colts. R. Mason Thomas. That's a guy I would have considered at 20. But that's also the issue with this class. Like, the guy at 20, I'm going to just take him at 41. It's the same. I do like R. Mason a lot. Again, he's undersized. He's not the biggest player. Who, I'm sure someone in the chat will know. Do either of you guys know what the R stands for? You guys can vote in the chat. AP is guessing Rutledge. Billy's going Rodney. You're both wrong. Do you know what the R stands for? Nothing. It's just R. It's just R. It's just R. Crimson Cowboy was right. It's just R. It doesn't stand for anything. It's just his family liked names starting with R, but they liked the name Mason. So they said, F it, let's just put R in front of it. R. Mason Thomas is the name. So, but he's productive. He's disruptive. He's never going to be a good run defender, but that's someone that I would have interest in. Like, if I hadn't taken, if I had got what I thought I was going to get of like, hey, I'm getting, Mesidor or I'm getting Downs or Styles, I would have happily taken R. Mason at 41. Like, that would have been, I'd have been happy on that front. Saints on the clock now at number 42 overall. Then I think is there a break after this one? Do I remember correctly? That's coming up here. Oh, perfect. We can let it right here. Hit that sub button if you haven't already. Let me get the R. Mason Thomas in. Saints, good call, Billy. Saints taking Avion Terrell at number 42 overall. Crimson Cowboys threw me for a loop when Bam played him because it was just R. Just R. Yeah, it's fun. I like it. It's different. Avion Terrell off the board here to the Saints at number 42 overall. I like those picks for the Saints. I like it. Tate and Terrell, good values at both spots there. The question is how far. Oh, I messed something up. That's fine. I just got to remember to take Pons instead of Zion Young because probably I clicked the wrong name in my tracker sheet. So Zion Young has got to go before the next 50 picks or I'm going to be in trouble. But we got a long wait here today, folks, to see who the Cowboys can get at number 92 overall. Bonds asked about Keontae Scott. Got some Book Clarkson, some good names. I am focused on nickelbacks. Will one fall? I don't know. But I think in general, this portion of the draft, it's going to get weird. I think you're going to get some weird picks in the 20s and then some weird picks in the 50s. I think that's where stuff's going to get a bit unusual. So hit that sub button if you haven't already done so. Free Cowboys videos each and every single day right here on the channel. Other picks here that have happened in the second round: Denzel Boston, Malachi Lawrence, Blake Miller, Christian Miller, Peter Woods, when the Giants traded Dexter Lawrence as part of this mock draft, Keelan Rutledge to Houston. I took C.J. Allen at 39. Yeah, maybe you don't love him at 20. 20 picks later, though, it's fine. D'Angelo Pons goes 41. Goes 40. R. Mason Thomas goes 41. Avion Terrell goes 42. And now we are back on the clock with the Miami Dolphins at pick number 43. Receiver? Because they don't have a receiver yet, right? Because they took Bain, and they took Chris Johnson, and they're going to double dip on the offense. I actually don't mind this one because I think he's going to go probably earlier in the real draft. Chase Basantis out of Texas A&M. So Miami double dipping on the offensive line on that front at 43 overall. That will then put the Jets again on the clock here. So we'll see what they end up doing as we are moving along. Long way to go. Pick 92 is going to be the next selection for the Cowboys. A couple super chats to get to here as well. If we can get one of the nickels, it's a dream come true, I think. It's a dream come true. So we'll see if it happens, but trust. Jensen Clark says the Jets canceled David Bailey's visit. It means one of two things. They know everything they need to know about him, and they're not, and they are going to take it because they're very comfortable with it. Or they've already moved around the pick on Arvell Reese or something else weird. Like, that's what it means. It's a bit surprising, though. Like, if that was the guy you were going to take, wouldn't you bring him in and let him see how he engages with his new teammates potentially? It's not always one-on-one visits. So, Rob L., Bud Clark, 92nd. Malik Muhammad, 114. World or Barber, 152. I ain't mad at it. Bud Clark is a prime name for me at 92. Like, can he get to me? I don't know. Isaiah World is a redshirt year tackle. I'm intrigued with that. My player comp is a baby giraffe for him. He's got the length. He just doesn't really know how to use it yet. He's kind of flailing around out there. But it's fun. Thank you, Rob L. Jets pick is in. Brandon Cisse off the board at 44 overall here. Well, I just double-clicked on something, and it made... I can undo picks. Should have done that earlier. Silly Tom. All right, let me get caught up here. So it was Pons at 40, R. Mason at 41, Terrell at 42, Santos, Cisse, Ravens on the clock now at pick number 45. I'm going to go with Bonnie. That's how it's pronounced. I don't know. Keontae Scott at 90, 92. Ties in William Cook super chat as well. Stukes/Scott at 92 if possible. Auto picks if one of those guys is there. I don't think they're going to. I would be pretty surprised if they fell that far. Maybe there's like a lack of knowledge of like how those guys fit. Like, you know, if for Scott in particular, like, our team's going to think he can do anything beyond nickel. I don't know if that's the case. In fact, I probably think it's not the case. I don't care. It's 2026. Like, nickels matter. So I would take Scott in a heartbeat. I would be surprised if he fell that far. I would be happy, but surprised. Eli Stowers, the Ravens pick here at number 45 overall. Let me check him off the board there. Falcons upset about that one because they traded away Pitts and got sniped. Who's to say? Tight end Eli. I know Moose for Broncos is pissed too. Eli Stowers, who it's Evan Ingram 2.0. Like, he's not really a tight end. Like, he can't block that good. But the athletic ability, the traits, oh man, it's fun. It's fun. So Eli Stowers there, 45 overall. Reminder of the deal that we have today. $50 beer bong. Billy will come up and do one as well. So it's kind of a 2-for-1 beer bong element. Brian says he wants the guy out of A&M. Do you mean Will Lee the third? And then Bonnie, yes, Chris Johnson is off the board. And I think part of it is like, hey, are you considering this and that on receiver for Eli Stowers? Like, it's kind of not that different in the end. Like, it just counts for both. So, I don't know. All right. Update, by the way, on Owen Heineke, because we were talking about this pre-show. Breaking news, Owen Heineke got the injunction against the NCAA. He is headed back to Oklahoma. So, even though he did the combine and shit and did his pro day, he got the year of eligibility, which I think he deserved. I think he kind of got screwed. He played 3 games of lacrosse, and they counted that as a year of eligibility, which it really shouldn't. Doesn't make any sense to me. But, so I was going to do linebackers tonight. No Owen Heineke, off the board. Anthony Hill Jr., the pick here by Tampa. I do like that one a lot. Hill was a guy I did consider for the Cowboys as well. So the Texas linebacker off the board to the Bucks. Billy, I'll let you make your pick, and then I'll ask you a question. So ignore me. Yeah, Colts hat is on for Billy here. He's making the Indianapolis pick at 47. Because I'll verbalize it. I had thought he was going to be the pick for Indy at 47 if he got there. That makes a lot of sense. They still could go with maybe one linebacker in particular. But pick 46 is Anthony Hill, and pick 47 is in for Indy. And you are going linebacker after all. Jake Golday. Were you going to take Anthony Hill, or did you have Golday above him? Oh, okay, so you got the guy you wanted in the end. Okay. All right. Billy is a big Jake Golday guy, which makes sense because both your teams could end up taking him this year, Bengals and Colts. So, Anthony Hill to the Bucks, Jake Golday to Cincinnati. Back-to-back linebackers, which again, I don't know how much longer Allen would have lasted, but I had a big gap. I'd be sweating out about taking a linebacker if I wanted to take Avion Terrell instead of C.J. Allen. Like that was the other guy I would have picked there. So remember, guys, we are free, and we always will be. Hit that sub button so you don't miss out, youtube.com/CowboysTV. We are approaching the midway points of the 3-round Chat Sports mock draft. We do this each year. It's fun. It got weird at the start. There's been some surprising player trades, but it's always a fun exercise there. Falcons, pick 48 is in. Oh, boy. Chris Brazzell, wide receiver out of Tennessee. By the way, you have made 0 bad picks. Marshall's just trying to draw you off sides. So, Chris Brazzell, the pick here at 48 overall. That is, I don't know about that one.
As the resident
That's
Saints fan, you just keep doing your thing, Moose. That's a sabotage.
That's I get the upside. I am traumatized by the Tennessee wide receiver system.
Yeah,
it's bad. Robbie said Golday reminds him of Leighton Vander Esch. Yes, I agree. Good comp. Good comp. I like that one. Similar builds, like they're both very stretched out backers. Minnesota at pick number 49, A.J. Halsey, the safety out of LSU. So Minnesota, their first pick in the mock draft, by the way. Sliding in there at number 49 overall. Their first pick is they traded it for Dexter Lawrence. I do like that pick for Halsey. I think that's about where he should go. Someone would also asked about Jalen Kilgore. Also intrigued on that one. I'm looking at, I don't even want to say it because Billy might fuck me here. Yeah, because I got to deal with multiple more picks from you before I'm back on the clock. I will tell my names again once Billy's done with pick 78. I don't trust you. I just don't trust you. I know you do. I'm looking at Nichols in the end. I think that'd be ideal. Otherwise, we'll talk Kenny Moore trade afterwards. We'll do that. We'll do that. All right. Brazzell to the Falcons. Halsey to the Vikings. Pick 50 is now in for the Lions. And they are taking the local guy, Derek Moore, out of Michigan. And I'm really surprised Cassius Howell has fallen this far. There is. I think that's a little bit of a reach on Derek Moore. I feel like James was making this pick maybe. But it's a quality edge class. It's a quality edge class. So Derek Moore, pick 50. Carolina on the clock now at pick 51. So we'll see what the Panthers end up doing here on that front. We're humming along nicely. Break coming up after pick 52, by the way. So Carolina, Packers, Seahawks, Eagles, Chargers, Jags, Bears, Niners, and then we kind of get to we're about 30 picks away from us at 92. Still got a long way to go. I guess we actually are, 42 picks away now. Hashtag math. Aaron said Marlon Humphrey for 92. No. Humphrey is expensive. He wasn't good last year. He was really bad last year.
He's unk.
He is old. All right, so Panthers on the clock here. Make your pick, Smitty. Well, let's go. All right, Carolina's got their pick in. They're going back to the wide receiver with Jeremy Bernard. Which, by the way, after this Packers pick, Seattle's on the clock. They can get Jadarian Price after all, if that's the route that they want to end up going, and get a running back when right now they've got hurt Zach Charbonnet and nothing.
Can I say I'm of the mind that this running back class, despite there being a few outliers, is so weak outside of Jeremiah Love. I don't think anyone should go before the third round.
I got late 2, early 3rd. Jeremy's accusing Smitty of taking a fake player. Real player. I'm going to follow up with does not know ball. But Packers, their first pick of the draft here at 52. Defense, perhaps? Would they just take Zion Young or Cassius Howell and say, boom, we got our edge to pair to replace Rashawn Gary? Get with Micah maybe missing at the start of the season? Scott is... I think we're very much into the Keontae Scott, Trayden Stukes range for this version of the mock draft. Hoping some guys that I like a lot that aren't as high on maybe others' boards. But Bernard at 51, Packers on the clock at pick number 52. We are awaiting the selection there. It is Zion Young out of Missouri. So I think actually a good scheme fit opposite Micah Parsons. I think I said on one of those shows, if you had Micah and you wanted the other edge, I think Zion actually fits super well. He's more of an edge setter. There are some flashes of pass rush production, but I think he's going to be at his best as a run stopper. He can be a 3-down player for you. I think 52 is great value for him, even though not as high on him as some. That's a good fit opposite Micah Parsons. So good pick there from, I think Joey was doing the Packers picks. Is the whole, guys remember the Michigan State fight when they attacked the Michigan players after the game a couple years ago? That was him. He was right there in the middle of it. He got probation. I think it was I think I have it written down my notes. But yeah, he was one of the guys that did that. He also, I think, the coolest moment. Did any of you guys watch the Missouri? I think it was Auburn game, the overtime. He was going there at the coin toss and was just yapping the entire time. He was talking a crazy amount of trash. He was human cocaine personified in a good way, and just talking shit the entire time. And then 2 sacks and a TFL in a hurry in overtime to ice the game for Missouri. And, took over the game. So, he's sometimes too crazy, but, is also fun crazy as well. Today's Cowboys Report is presented by Prize Picks. The playoffs are here for basketball, baseball. That is... Nope, wrong one. Sorry, merch. But again, today's show made possible by Prize Picks. Download the Prize Picks app today. Links in the comments and the description of today's show. Use code HMA to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. All right, 20% off the Cowboys Report merchandise is still going on at chatsports.com/Cowboys Report. Links in the comments and the live chat, the description as well. 20% off, only available while the live mock draft is going. So maybe about an hour, somewhere in that ballpark. Everything that's available on there is 20% off. It is site-wide. Chatsports.com/Cowboys Report. Links in the comment section and the description of today's show. That's chatsports.com/Cowboys Report. Appreciate AP putting that link in the live chat for you. Zion Young, the most recent pick here, 52 by Green Bay. Seattle on the clock. And apparently Ortner was unhappy that Joey took Zion Young. That's who he wanted. That's what it sounds like. So Seattle on the clock, pick 53. They're going to go edge. The other top edge left, Cassius Howell out of Texas A&M. Those are two very, very different types of players, but I do really like Cassius Howell as a fit. He is a explosive, disruptive pass rusher. Hassan Reddick vibes here. I don't know if he's ever going to truly be he can be a run-stopping edge, but if you want someone to go get some pressures for you, Cassius Howell can absolutely do that for you. So I like that pick by Seattle. Philadelphia on the clock with their first of 2 second-round picks. They got an additional one as part of it got weird, blockbuster A.J. Brown, Devontae Adams swap, with Philly also getting a second-round pick in that deal, which is kind of crazy to me. So Philly on the clock here at pick number 54. And then it's the Jags, Chargers, Bears, Niners. Let's see. Philly took a tackle earlier. I wonder, I could see him going edge. I could see him taking Akis. I think they're going to go young receiver. I think he wants to go offense. I'm very curious who Chase is going to take here. Chris Bell, draft and stash. See it. I can see it. Javi Ramirez is Jalen Kilgore at 92. Yes. Yes, I would do that. Kilgore's got to be like a bit more physical. Like there's some downside there, but yes, I would do that. Yes. So we're still waiting on Philly. They're a bit. Time's expired, right? Time's expired. Like this is taking too long. This is over a minute. We're past a minute now. We got to go here. Still waiting on Chase's pick. What are we doing here? Unless he's agreed to a secret swap behind the scenes. This is. Unless he had one templated there. Templated. I don't know. We'll see. Cassius Howell, pick 53. Reminder, the Super Chat menu, $10, 3 raffle entries, $20 for a shot, $50 for a beer bong. I will do one, and Billy says he will do one as well. I don't know. I should have clarified. What's the rules if the picks aren't in on time? Is it just a free-for-all? Clock's expired? Let Ortner make his pick for L.A.? Finally in, and F you, Chase. One of the guys we liked off the board, Keontae Scott, goes to 54. I never really thought he was going to fall all the way down to 54. I think he is going to be a nickel corner. I don't think he's someone you want playing a bunch of safety. That's why I was hoping he might slide a little bit. This would then allow Cooper DeGino to play on the outside or more safety. That's what this would allow Philadelphia to do. I like Scott a lot. I think he does go somewhere in like the top 75 picks, so I don't think he is the most likely selection in the end. But Scott to Philadelphia, he is old. That's a good point there by Brendan. He is old, but like we're us and Philly trying to win games now. Like, does it matter that much if it's a little bit old? Like I'm not too concerned about it in the end. Recent picks: AJ Halsey to Minnesota, Derek Moore to the Lions, Jeremy Bernard, Zion Young, Cassius Howell, Keontae Scott, and now the Chargers are on the clock here at number 55 overall. We're about 7 minutes behind pace, give or take. Excuse me. Or behind the projected pace, I suppose. So once again, we are back with the Chargers on the clock here at pick number 55. And then we get to have Jacksonville's first pick of the night. I haven't seen anything from Jacksonville so far. I think that's the last of the no picks yet squad. I think. Denver, you're right. Good call, Billy. Forgot about Denver. Chargers are taking Chris Bell, the wide receiver, out of Louisville. Of note, by the way, no Ty Simpson yet. No Ty Simpson, no other quarterbacks. Maybe the Rams at 61 is the earliest next window. And then it's like Cardinals at 65. So that would begin the third round. So we're not quite out of round 2. Chris Bell, had he been healthy, I think would have probably snuck into round 1. It's like everyone shows the same 5 plays. It's the slant. He takes the house because he's big and athletic after the catch. He needs a lot more route running development, and he's coming off an ACL tear. I like him at 55 a lot more than I do like him at like 35 right now. But he also might be a saint. Reunite him with Shock. I know that wouldn't be a huge shocker there. Jacksonville on the clock here at pick 56 overall. Their first pick of the draft. They are taking a guy that had been mocked pretty frequently in round 1. I think has rightly slid down the board a little bit here. And that is Caleb Banks. The upside is immense. Like, he could be a top 10 defensive tackle in the NFL. He could also flame out after like 4 or 5 years after his first contract. That left foot is a giant limping medical red flag. He sprained it, like hurt it, like kind of fractured it in spring, and then was trying to come back and fully broke it, and then had surgery, came back, played like 3 games this year essentially, and then hurt it the night before the combine. He broke the 4th metatarsal in his toe. So he's had like 3 different injuries in like a 9-month span on his foot. It's a huge concern for a raw guy that's like, he's older, freaky athlete, but like, man, are you good? Can he stay healthy and make impact for you? I don't know. AP, what's up?
I do like the fit of him in Jacksonville, though, and the value of it as well. I kind of feel like a D tackle is one of the things that's kind of, stopping them from being a great defense to an elite one. Like, they forced so many turnovers last season. Being able to stuff the run and have a guy that maybe does or doesn't reach the ceiling in Caleb Banks at this pick makes a lot of sense, though.
There you go. So Banks 56, the Bears on the clock now at 57. We have lost the minute timing here. I kind of wonder if the Bears are going to take Banks. This should be an edge for Chicago, though. That would make a lot of sense to me. Oh, interesting. After taking Jermod McCoy earlier, there goes another one of our top nickel options who I never really thought was going to be there for us. Trading Stukes off the board at number 57, which has now put us into the we really got to keep our fingers crossed. A couple of these guys slide. I think the guys I'm looking at I didn't think they were going to be in play until like maybe the 70s, and I didn't think these guys were going to get to me in the 70s. But wouldn't that have been fun? I think last year I ended up with in this mock draft Teteroa McMillan and Travion Henderson. By the way, yeah, I got both, and then I took Noah Williams, who's going to start for the Chiefs this year at corner. So it was fun. See how it plays out. Trading Stukes, 57 to the Bears. I think nickel corner is where he should play. He can do safety stuff too, but I've got him more like, and again, maybe I'm being colored by my Cowboys glasses and trying to look through that lens too much. I think he could do safety, but I think nickel corner is going to be his best spot. But he has the range to play safety as well. And I think for Harrison, he's probably going to plug him in at safety.
That's what I was just about to ask, is if the thought is maybe you plug him there because of all the losses you had, especially in the safety position for the Bears. Yeah, I mean, best available both spots, though, really revamping the secondary.
I'm not going to give it away because I don't want Billy to snipe me. A couple of you guys in the chat have identified who I have my eye on at 92. Don't go look at the chat, Billy. Don't go look at the chat. Don't go look at the chat.
He's got access to Cowboys Report.
Quit sniping. No stream sniping. All right, Niners pick 58 is in. And I do like this fit for San Francisco, like in particular. I'm not as high on the player himself. Jennings Dunker. Zone blocker. Put him in at guard. Let him go. Maybe you try him at right tackle. The Iowa offense, the Utah offense, some of those, it's like, yeah, Georgia Tech, like, yeah, they didn't allow many sacks, but like, it's not a real drop back offense. It's like, we're going to run the ball down your throat. Like, Utah was doing constant 12, 13 personnel stuff, but Dunker peak offensive line build. Have you ever seen without his helmet? He's got like the long red hair. Looks like a guy named Jennings Dunker that plays offensive line for Iowa. Like, it certainly tracks. You can kind of see the red hair poking out a little bit there. He's a mauler. I think guard is going to maximize him. You could try him at tackle to start, but I think the issues he didn't face that much of at Iowa are going to be amplified in the NFL. So, as part of the Kyle Pitts trade, Atlanta is on the clock now at number 59 overall. And Texas Tech fans, I think, will appreciate this selection. Lee Hunter is off the board at number 59 overall. So Lee Hunter goes here. There's one defensive tackle that I would consider. I don't think he's going to get to me at 92, but there is one more guy I'd be like, shoot, maybe I should do that one. That's kind of a fun idea. One more I'll consider for later. But best available, great call, AP. Ty Simpson, Gabe Akis. I like him. I think he's a top 50 pick, by the way. Jadarian Price. It's the lack of a need for backs. Seattle at 64. That'd be a great pick for them. Great pick. Kieron Crawford, who a little bit early for me. Malachi Fields, Antonio Williams, Denai, Dennis Sutton. It is, by the way, it is pronounced Denai. It's not Danny. It's Denai, which is stock up, right? Keith Abney, nickel option, by the way. Big Citrus, Dominique Orange, top defensive lineman. Tyler Odenim, Chris McClellan, Darrell Jackson. Some good fourth-round guys here, I think. Great Grayson Halton, Albert Regis. Halton is very different, is more like Osa build. Maybe isn't the biggest fan for anybody else there. Malik Muhammad, yes, would be an option for me at 92. Not my favorite one, but that would be one of the options I would consider there. So Chicago back on the clock here if they take Gabe Akis here, ooh, I'd like that a lot. They're on the clock at 60, and it is Gabe Akis out of Illinois. I would say about to go play in the same state, but also maybe not now. They're going to be the Indiana Bears, potentially, which sounds so dirty. So dirty. And yes, Robbie, Caden McDonald was picked as well. You saw some of the top guys that were available there. Gabe Akis goes 60, Philadelphia. This is part, by the way, of the wild A.J. Brown trade, which I think, honestly, was done out of spite to screw over our Patriots host. I think that's what happened here. A.J. Brown to the Rams for Devontae and a 2. I kind of think Howie did it again there, by the way. I think Howie did it again. Big move there. Big move for those two guys. Joey just screenshotted Harrison's guys in the NFL draft and was mad he took Gabe Akis over Denai Dennis Sutton. Well, speaking of Denai Dennis Sutton, he is off the board. The Eagles taking the in-state product. Dennis Sutton was it's honestly a tough one for me. The traits are great. He does play with good power, but he doesn't utilize his traits right. And he played really well down the stretch once the year was pretty much done for Penn State. But he should be this twitched up, dominant edge rusher, and he just kind of run at you guy. And I don't love run through you guy because it gets a lot harder to do that in the NFL. But I think here, in this late second, early third round range, it does make some sense. And then we have a trade. The trade, Denver doesn't want to pick early today. 2/3, 88 and 100 going to Denver. Jacksonville moving up to pick number 62. So Denver and Jacksonville agreeing to a trade here after the Denai Dennis Sutton selection. Who's Jacksonville going to take here? Who are they going to pursue? Because they took a defensive tackle. They took Banks last time. Who are they going to pick? We'll see. Jacksonville on the clock now at pick number 62 after this trade. 2/3. Mitch is now asking for pick 67 offers. There are no trades allowed. These had to be done in advance for that exact reason, because Sam does not want things dragging out for 5 hours. So Mitch was trying to trade down. He got vetoed. Sam was waiting for that one. Marshall's calling them the cheating Raiders. All right, Jags pick at 62. We got to go here. Marshall and Jeremy both said the Raiders should lose their pick for trying to make a trade here. I don't know. By the way, I know there was some bad misinformation on Twitter. Travis Hunter is still going to play wide receiver. Some for Jacksonville. He's going to play more corner. Someone just didn't listen to the interview. I don't really know how it happened, but that is what happened on that front there. So, Jags pick is in at 62 overall. I want to see it because okay, that makes sense. Kieran Crawford, edge out of Auburn, which he's got to be mad. There was this run on edges, Cassius Hal, a few off there. Then Dennis Sutton and Kieran Crawford, and then Akis all go 3 in a row. So run on edges here at the back end of the second round. This puts the Patriots back on the clock here at pick 63 overall. Then Seattle. Then we will get to the third round, hopefully rapid fire, so we can get moving here. Let's see. This is New England. They took a lineman earlier. Does he have to go receiver now since he got sniped on A.J. Brown? He can't trade for A.J. Brown now? Right? I don't know. We'll see. Patriots pick coming up here again. Make sure you guys are subscribed. Shout out to some recent subscribers. Aspect Productions, Lorenzo Proctor, Jop Broski, Aiden Cly. Any relation? I like doing that any relation for the same first name, though it's spelled differently. And then Nick Ramundo as well. Patriots. Ooh, Romello Height at 63. Yes, Height has not been taken yet. Yeah. So Height off the board at 63. Height is also, he's an old guy and was kind of a one-year wonder. I don't know about some of the orderings of these edges, though. I think that's a very valid point there, AP. So Height is off the board, and the edges have really started to part the seas here. Look, if you only want to do based on the production they had last year, that is the correct take. I also think Falk drew more attention. He's a better run stopper. He has better traits, but there was plenty of games I'm the other edge is doing better. That is you felt the way about Height and Bailey, yeah. I think the difference is there Bailey also got going in games too. Falk always maybe didn't already. Now we have the Jadarian Price pick for the Seattle Seahawks. So Ortner, our Seahawks host, gets to kind of play his hand slowly and take Price. Is Arizona going to take Ty Simpson here? To take him at 65, I think that would make quite a bit of sense. So, excuse me, very rude. All right, let's run through the picks. Let's do all of them real quick here. We got 3 minutes. Actually, how about I sip some water? Do you want to roll through them here? We can just do the list 4s, list 4 will be easy there. Sip some water. Third round coming up. There will be no third round break. So hopefully they go quick is my thoughts on that one. We got until pick 92 for the next Cowboys pick. AP, let's see what you got here, bud.
All righty. Recapping the picks of the Chat Sports mock draft to this point. We got the Arizona Cardinals on the clock with pick 65 of the third round. Starting off, Fernando Mendoza, no-brainer, number 1 to the Raiders. Caleb Downs, the first off curveball. Caleb Downs, number 2 to the Jets. David Bailey in a trade up to the Kansas City Chiefs. Sonny Styles, the Titans, stick and pick there. Jeremiah Love, the elite offensive talent, going number 5 to the Giants. Arvell Reese in a trade up with the Browns, swapping 12, 20, 6, and 39. Arvell Reese will be a Dallas Cowboy according to this mock draft. Reuben Bain, the Dolphins also traded up to get him at number 7 overall. The Saints select Carnell Tate at number 8 from Ohio State. Maui Noah ends up going to the Arizona Cardinals anyway, now at pick number 9. Mansour Delane, the long-storied corner and Bengals connection there. Mekhi Lemon with an elite offensive talent as well, going to pair up with Jaden Daniels at 11. Spencer Fano, the Browns take a tackle. Kenyon Sadiq, more offensive talent and firepower for McVay to the Rams. Jordan Tyson. Lamar gets what might be a wide receiver 1 finally. Yes, 2 tight ends, but Keldrick Folk is going to the Buccaneers, maybe set up for that 3-4 kind of stuff with Todd Bowles there. Keem Messidor going best available for the Jets draft plan there at 16. Caden Proctor, 17. And Venga Ioane to the Giants at 18. Dylan Thieneman, 19 to the Panthers. Omar Cooper at 20 to the Browns. KC Concepcion to the Steelers at 21. TJ Parker at 22 to the Chargers. Max Ihanachor, another tackle to sit behind Lane Johnson at 23 to the Eagles. Monroe Freeling sliding all the way down to 24 for the Browns, where they thought maybe early as 6, getting him there. 25, Jermod McCoy. The Bears go best available as Arizona is now on the clock, so we'll come back to this as we're wrapping up some of this recap here. Jacob Rodriguez, Manuel McNeil-Warren, many more picks to come with Arizona on the clock here. Tom is coming back.
We'll see what Arizona does with this 3rd-round pick. It is, by the way, going to be Ty Simpson. So I think it's funny how sometimes you can just wait on the quarterback in various mock drafts and be lucky, but does everyone want to have the same level of patience in a real draft? You never quite know on that front. So Ty Simpson, the pick at 65. That'll put the Titans back on the clock here at number 66 in just a minute. Don't worry, Jotman. We'll get to your super chat later in a little bit. I want to make sure it gets time for the graphics to actually pull through and everything there. Naturally, I decided to not want to. There it goes. Ty Simpson, the pick there at Arizona. So Cardinals pick is in. Tennessee on the clock now at number 66. Hopefully we're moving quickly here. Hopefully that's a good outcome for us here. And we are moving quick, which is good because we got all that last back half of the round 2. People were taking 2 minutes per pick, and we got off timing pretty good there. Tennessee does have their pick, by the way. This is going to be Malachi Fields, the wide receiver out of Notre Dame. So some outside, hopefully vertical, maybe some Michael Pittman vibes help for Cam Ward on that one. Mitch will now have to make a pick at 67. He can no longer delay and distract there. So Jotman, a $10 super chat. Did I put you in the raffle already? Did I do that or no? I need to give you 3 entries. My bad. Man, Reese and Allen are cooking time. I think the boys actually move up like they should, or we're going to reach 12 because the best player on the board is probably an OT or a wide receiver. Are the Browns willing to do that trade that I just did? Are they willing to do 12 and 20? If so, I think the Cowboys would do it for 6 and 39. I don't know if the Browns would. I think everybody thinks, I'll get the better deal out of it. That's what every team wants to do, right? Everyone wants to win the deal. Depends on how things play out. Do they throw in an additional pick to make it a bit more even? Like that. If they could do 6 and 20 or 6 and 39 for 12 and 20, I think they would have a lot of interest in it, depending on how the board falls. That'll be a draft night thing. The Browns might say, no, we want more, and that might be the end of those conversations, and we'll be sweating things out for 6 picks or so. But it's a good question. All right, thank you, Jotman. Raiders. I did not make those picks. Stop doing that. I didn't pick any of these things. I don't like that. Stop doing things.
With the Raiders on the clock at pick 67, a reminder of who Tom has already selected. He traded up to number 6 to get in exchange 39 as well, gave up 12 and 20. And in return, bolstering the linebacker room. You go from holy S, what's going on here, to you get an inside and an outside linebacker option to add to your repertoire for the Dallas Cowboys. I mean, if it plays out like this in real life, you got to be pretty pleased, I'd say.
I could tell Mitch did not want to make a pick at 67 because he's still not in yet. Sad. So got Reese and Allen. We have our eyes on maybe we get lucky and a nickelback ends up falling to us at that later 3rd round pick. We have the Raiders pick now at 67 overall. Zachariah Branch, the selection for Mitch and the Raiders, gives them a he might be a gadget guy. The kind of my concern is he's going to be a gadget player.
I agree with that.
He didn't do real downfield routes at Georgia or USC. They didn't. And was that they didn't ask him to or they didn't trust him to? Trying to figure out that is always the true because I don't think Georgia's quarterback was very good. despite what some Georgia fans try to tell me. I don't think he's very good. It's better. I think the value's fine, though. He also could be a return guy for you. And he can be gadgety, jet sweep, get the ball out in space, make life easier on a quarterback guy. So I get that.
He gives me, like, slight budget Zay Flowers vibes with a little less vertical ability.
I think that's the best case scenario.
With like at that point though, like Zay Flowers' first round pick, you look at pick 67, like that's decent value for a guy like that. Maybe he becomes something like that.
I had written down tinier Curtis Samuel.
I like that too.
The athletic comp actually was Khalif Raymond. So and there's return value too. So like it makes that fits pretty well as well. All right, Eagles on the clock here. Pick number 68. Is that in? Chase was also a bit of a slow-down guy.
Luis Rodriguez would like to know how the Cowboys ended up with a second-round pick. Here it is.
We did the trade. We did the viral trade. And I'm glad we did because we were going to have to be picking between Mesidor or Thieneman at 12, which might be real life too, or Falk or somebody. Might be real life. So I am glad I did it because I think they would take Mesidor. I could have talked myself into like, ooh, I'll take Thieneman, hoping that Mesidor slides, and then, but it would have been in a rough spot. I think the other outcome probably would be Mesidor and Hood. I think that's a very realistic outcome for the Cowboys. But Eagles, they took the guy that I don't like. Sam Roush, the tight end out of Stanford, is the selection here. I understand why people like him. I get it. He's a great athlete. It's Stanford. He does the blocking stuff. I get all of that. He didn't actually block that great. And he can't catch very good. Like, the upside is awesome. Don't get me wrong on that front. But, like, I don't know. You know who guys know who I wrote down in my notes of who he reminds me of? It's a West Coast Luke Schoonmaker. Like that, a great athlete. Wasn't involved, but he did some tough blocking assignments. Like he didn't really block that great though. I'm not as on board with Sam Roush in the end.
So yeah, let's talk about it, Tom, because I feel like there were better tight ends on the board here. Now it depends on what you're looking for. If you're looking for more of that blocking aspect, which I understand is very much a part of the Philadelphia Eagles plan, Kazmarek is right there.
Now, I'm also not taking a blocking tight end in the third round. Like I don't value that. Now, granted, you guys seen the blocking tight end contract market? It's like $10 million a year now.
Shot up.
It's absurd. I hate it. Jolie is how that's pronounced. It's not Jolly. Jolie. I think offers some pass catching. Claire does as well. He was a better, I thought, dynamic player at Purdue. He added a bit of weight to Ohio State. Also, like they had a lot of mouths to feed, so like. When in doubt, 3rd and 6, you're going to throw to Claire or Jeremiah Smith? You're going to throw to Jeremiah Smith, like or Carnell Tate, right? Or Innis. Delp is all upside, but it's intriguing upside too. Elijah Surratt off the board here out of Indiana, the wide receiver. This is probably fair range for him. I thought going into the CFP, I'm like, I like Omar Cooper more. Is that a hot take? Because it kind of felt like it was, and now everyone's like, no, that's definitely not a hot take at all. He will win contested catches for you. He doesn't get open that well. And that worries me because how do you balance that? It's a bit tricky. We're moving now at least here. A couple picks all in a row. All right, Browns at 70. There go one of the sneaky nickel corner options for us. Keith Abney out of Arizona State is off the board. He unfortunately is the winner for one of the biggest, the program lied about him, guys, this year. And I refer to the height on that front. What's the old high school line? Add 2 inches and 15 pounds. Keith Abney out of Arizona State was listed at 6 foot 195. He is not even 5'10". So they were not truthful on the height. Now at sub 5'10", 187, without seeing the athletic testing, I had a Jordan Lewis comp on him, which would have been really fun for Dallas, but that's how it goes. So
let's check in on the Browns, who were on the opposite side of the trade with the Cowboys. Look at the kind of prospects that might have been around, obviously different needs here, but what was there when it came to pick 12 and 20 type of deal. So they walked away with Fano, Cooper, Freeling, Abney. Okay, I like that. That's some building blocks for Dallas, one. And then you, of course, look at the Dallas side of things, getting Arvell Reese and C.J. Allen. If there's a win-win trade in this draft, certainly I do feel like you and JOD did a great job with that one.
Thank you. Appreciate that. By the way, ex-Cowboy legend, or I guess just Cowboys legend Dante Fowler visited the Seahawks today. So, also trophy, no, you're not getting CMC. There's the defensive tackle. I was like, ooh, maybe he could get to you. Big Citrus, Dominique Orange off the board to the Commanders. So I am excited to see what Billy does here for the Bengals. But Dominique Orange off the board here. Big run-stopping defensive lineman. You know, maybe don't ask him to do that much like other stuff, though. He's not going to be, I think, a dynamic pass rusher. But he can do some nose. He can do some 4-eye if you need him to as well. Plus has one of the best nicknames, Big Citrus, which, by the way, he did not have – I can show. That's not like that is a new name, essentially.
Really?
The nickname. That is a fan nickname in the end. Like, that was he said he saw it on Twitter for the first time. Like, that's where he learned about it. It's not something that his teammates or friends grew up calling him. Big Citrus is something that fans, we created it. We created it. So, Bengals on the clock here at pick number 72. There's a cough that's been killing me as of late. Bengals took – ooh, I like that one. Billy's having some fun today. Billy's having some fun with players. Billy has taken Kyle Lewis out of Pitt. If I didn't take C.J. Allen, this would have been one of the guys I would have been praying and probably wasn't going to fall to me at number 72. I don't know if he's even a linebacker. Like, is he like really more of a safety, like smaller nickel hybrid guy? But like he's super fun. I think like the Senior Bowl, like he had shown like, hey, I can do that man coverage stuff. Like I can hang and be productive there. And we have the most homer pick of the draft.
I mean, come on, Trey.
This is the biggest homer pick of the draft. Trace is taking Mike Washington out of Arkansas because he's an Arkansas guy. Hey, when you get a chance to pay A-Chain big money and then do that, and then there's like Alvin Kamara's in the trade block. Like no one wants old ass Alvin Kamara, dude. Mike Washington, the pick here. That's just, Billy. I like your pick. I'm a big Kyle Lewis fan. Don't like the Mike Washington pick by the Saints. That is a steep investment.
Agreed there.
$2027? That's what's 28 versus Frozen. So. All right, Chiefs on the clock now at pick number 74. We will get to Timothy Morris's super chat in a moment as well. Excuse me. Chiefs, what have they done? They got a receiver. They went up and got the edge. That's right. They made the aggressive move up there. Took a corner. Receiver maybe coming up here for them? Maybe. All right, Timothy Morris, a $10 super chat. Give you 3 entries there. Thank you, Timothy. If the Cowboys move to 12 to 18, the Vikings get Grenard, and move from 20 to 30 with the Dolphins and get Brooks, then draft Dylan Thiedemann the safety and edge or linebacker at 30. I do wonder if those teams would do that with you. Like the math makes some sense, but I do think there are some questions of like, would they really want to do that? If you can pull it off, it gets expensive. It gets expensive because you got to pay Grenard big money, and you're going to pay Brooks a decent chunk of change. But like purely identifying the players and the values, yeah, I would have a lot of interest in that. Maybe you can do one of those, and I would have most interest in the Jordan Brooks one. If I couldn't get the 6-20 swap or 6-12 swap arranged, I was going to try to get that trade with Brooks lined up. So, Antonio Williams, the pick here by the Chiefs. Another receiver option. I kind of think he's a slot receiver, so it's kind of more of the same of like, okay, you have guys they're going to underneath, but no one like big outside. But receivers left. Hot take, I am a big Ted Hurst guy. You know, he reminds me of oh, that's what Cowboy Rob just asked about. You know, he reminds me of a little bit Pickens. He's big, but he's big, but he's lean, kind of like how Pickens is. He's a great athlete. He makes some of those awesome contested jump balls, and like will also drop some of the easy ones. Like, what are you doing? Freak athlete, just small competition. You know, which is a completely valid concern. We've seen that many times again. And oh, by the way, Ted Hurst is the pick now for the Miami Dolphins.
How
so
about
that's
that?
There we go. You nailed that one, Rolly. I am a big Ted Hurst believer. I think in the end he probably goes somewhere in this range, in between the Dallas Cowboys picks, between whatever that second one is and that third one. So it doesn't really make a lot of sense for them to be a contender to land Hurst in the end, but not that they're going to want to spend a premium pick on a wide receiver anyway. But I do think Hurst's like upside, the physical attributes, all of it is like, yeah, man, that's some really good stuff. Like, how can you not want to get on board with that? So, I think for Miami, like, if you want to be a bit like developmental, you have to wait a little bit. That's fine. He's just under 6'4", 206. I mean, the testing was fantastic. 4.42, 11.03 broad, which is crazy. 2.42 yards per route run, more 20-plus yard catches than anyone else over the past 2 seasons. The upside is Pickens. The downside is like Denzel Mims. He never develops enough route running. Has had some drops. Better against Vanderbilt. Very much shut down against Ole Miss. You know, there was a limited route tree, but I kind of feel like that was a quarterback skill issue of like we can't do real routes there. I'm a big Ted Hurst guy. All right, Seattle on the clock here at pick number 76. My computer does not like having all the tabs open, by the way. It's getting to the I'm pissed stage of the day, which is not a good sign. But so be it.
All right. Pick 76.
Trace is now claiming that someone bought a shirt to make that pick.
Maybe he did.
You did?
Yeah.
I'm going to try to message that in there.
Anyway. Davison Igbinosun is the pick here, round 376 for the Seahawks. That definitely, correct me if I'm wrong, Tom, definitely fits the archetypal corner that the Seahawks have been drafting as of late. You know, longer, lankier. Spoon, not quite. You know, Devon Witherspoon's got to be the exception there.
Yeah.
But you know, Igbinosun, Woolen, guys like that, it looks like they're trying to follow that prototype a little bit more and just add some depth there.
I need to do some more digging. Billy, I've heard some whispers of off-field with him. With some off-field stuff. I got to do some more digging. I'll do that on. He's a character in a good way or a bad way? Not in a good way? He's a bit too. He's a bit too class clowny.
Uppity.
Okay. Bucks are taking Max Clare, so back-to-back Buckeyes here off the board. Max Clare goes 77 to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I got to find a way to close out of some shit. This is just lagging like a mofo right now. Oh, Colts are up. That's right. Let's see what you got, Billy. Let's see what you got. Don't need that up there. Pick is in for Indy. Chandler Rivers, a nickel corner option. So there's your Kenny Moore replacement. So you want to put Justin Moy back on the outside. Okay. Undersized, but feisty as hell corner right there. Very scrappy. He would have been in consideration for me at 92. He would have been one of the guys who would have been like, I could potentially do that. It's maybe a little high, but you know, it's just because he's small. That's the only real reason there. Okay, see if I can get this freaking load and not like crash out too bad here. Chandler Rivers to the Colts. Timothy Morris again. Hear me out. If you could make it work, trade 14 for Pickens with the Ravens for one of the big 3 wide receivers, or 20 with the Chargers and draft Omar or KC. My issue there is like you free up a bunch of money that you didn't then spend. So like, should that have been your course of action? Like, and I'll be honest, I don't know if those teams are going to do that with you. I don't think Baltimore would do it. Like, they've got enough high investment players. I wouldn't assume. Maybe LA could. Like, I think they need defensive line help right now. So I in general am not a big believer that the trade market for George Pickens is as strong as what we saw on the field this year would say that it is, if that makes sense. So, Atlanta, pick 79 is in here. We got a little tight end run going on. Oscar Delp off the board. Delp could not work out at the combine because they discovered he had a fracture in his foot. So they said, legally, you cannot do this. You are not welcome here because we cannot have you make it injured worse, and you're banned from it. Oscar Delp goes 79. Let me get that in.
And this is actually the replacement for Kyle Pitts with the trade that happened earlier with the Texans receiving Kyle Pitts for the 59th overall pick and a 7th round pick in this year's draft. So that Oscar Delp will end up being the Kyle Pitts replacement in Atlanta. Certainly an interesting way it's played out there. And Tracy's telling me I'm banned from Saints now forever.
For what?
Because I told him I didn't like the Mike Washington pick.
All right, Ravens at number 80 are on the clock. That pick is in. That's 81. 80, they're taking a center. There's their Tyler Linderbaum replacement, Jake Slaughter. I like him. I got Sam Hecht a little higher. There's like 4 centers like in this late 3rd, early 4th round range. I think could be pretty good players for you. We have another linebacker off the board, Josiah Trotter. So had I not taken C.J. Allen, I think we would have been sniped on linebackers. Like Trotter, Keyshawn Elliott's a little bit lower for me. But Trotter that's Jeremiah's kid, by the way. The second kid, obviously Jeremiah Jr. is in there. But Trotter, he is a thumper. You know, and in the good ways and the bad ways. I don't like him very much in coverage. But 3rd round, that is great value. I have no complaints about that one there. So, Trotter at 81 to Jacksonville. Vikings on the clock now at 81. William Cook, a $5 super chat. I think this draft shows the importance of trading up. The defenders will be gone by 12. You never know what's going to happen. Hopefully things go our way, but sometimes they do and sometimes they don't. But if you can get the right value for it. Like, I don't want to trade. I'm not trading 12 and 20 and getting nothing back. I don't think that's a good trade for the Cowboys. At that point, I would rather have 2 good versus 1 great. If I can get 1 great and 1 good, I'm going to go do it, if I can make it happen. Sam Hecht, my number 1 center to the Vikings there. Hopefully starts. I like him a lot. You know, he's got the short arms. I think he has to play center, kind of like Beebe. He's not the same caliber of athlete I think that Beebe was. I had Beebe above him. But like this kind of 3rd, 4th round range, I think we will get a run on centers like we're seeing here. Thank you, William. Carolina back on the clock. Oh, Malik Muhammad is off the board. So one of the potential options that we had our eye on here has gone. So Malik Muhammad goes number 83.
We'll hear from Timothy Morrison. Then take a look at some of those top corner, maybe other available options.
Timothy says, come on, Brooks, Grenard, DT Terrell would make us top 10 defense, Super Bowl or bust. See, I think that's actually probably putting too much on it. Like, that's even if you can get, you know, Thielen and Terrell. Like, Brooks and Grenard help you, but I think those are good starters. Those are not superstar caliber players. That's why they're available for 3rd round pick value. I also think it's, I like it. I see the vision. I do wonder how the Madden angle of it all potentially plays out. So best available here with the Packers on the clock. A few more picks to go here. Caleb Tiernan out of Northwestern. Deshaun Stribling, Tyler Odenim. Zakee Wheatley out of Penn State. Travis Burke out of Memphis. The Nuss Bus, Garrett Nussmeier out of LSU. Brennan Thompson, Keyshawn Elliott out of Arizona State, the linebacker there. Bud Clark and Jalen Kilgore, who I think are both kind of more, I think they fit more into the nickel safety hybrid side of things. Bryce Lance, who's super athletic. Justin Jolie, Jalen Farmer, Logan Jones, Markel Bell, Dalen Everett. This is based on, by the way, Dame Brugler's top 100. I think Wheatley is more of a true free safety, split safety type. I think Clark and Kilgore have done a lot more nickel in the end. Speaking of that, I think actually would be a halfway decent fit if you put him in nickel. Talking about all these Georgia corners over the years. Dalen Everett is the pick by Green Bay at 84, overall. So back-to-back corners here off the board. Malik Muhammad, Dalen Everett. It's been a tight end cornerback run as of late. Got Igbinosin, Rivers, then Claire and Delp at tight end. A couple centers in Slaughter and Hecht. One linebacker. Back-to-back corners, Malik Muhammad and Everett. And Pittsburgh just fucked us. Bud Clark off the board at number 85 overall.
I'm sorry to disappoint you both. Literally, as the pick is coming through, I think it's Dan Daggett, Justin White, both asking.
Ed and Aget. I don't know.
That's probably right. You're probably right. Well, both you guys were asking for Bud Clark, and he goes just a few picks before.
I'm messaging Sperry. You dick.
That's a good pick. He flies around. I like Bud Clark a lot.
Good player. I would have liked that one. That's frustrating. Jalen Farmer off the board here to the Chargers. I got to figure out what the hell I'm going to do here. I got a couple picks coming up.
He actually, good guard out of Kentucky, my alma mater. There are a couple interior linemen that are coming out of the University of Kentucky. Jalen Farmer, the only one that's actually worth any while, to be honest.
Farmer's off the board.
Ooh, Robbie, love your option here. Zakee Wheatley is your next option. I'm a big fan of Zakee Wheatley. Not only is he an unreal athlete, and most Penn State players are coming out. I had the chance to listen in on his press conference. Seems like a very cerebral player. I love his attitude about how he's going to approach a defense. And he also just says, I'll basically do whatever, what the team needs me to. And that's common speak, but hey.
We'll see if one of them gets to me or not here. We're on the clock at pick 92. Steelers sniped us on Bud Clark. Jalen Farmer went to the Chargers. I think a logical offensive guard pick there. Commanders at pick 87 are taking, should be in, it disappeared on us, Logan Jones, the center. So we did have that late third center run here. Why is Marshall calling me? I'm going to answer this. I'm going to answer this.
He's asking you for a trade, isn't he?
Why are you calling me in the middle of a live stream? No,
just some behind the scenes for you guys. Maybe working through a trade. Just kidding. No last second trades here.
Okay, so I don't know. That one I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of him. I think he's much lower. You want me to send you my notes? I should have put that in production earlier.
Wow, Marsh is cheating right now. Marsh is cheating.
You're fine? All right.
He's using tom.com right now to get his draft notes.
Not Marshall calling me in the middle of a live stream.
Come on, Marsh.
So this is Denver's pick, by the way. They have not made a pick yet. Denver has not made a pick. They traded down with the Jags earlier. I wonder if Marshall had actually texted me, and that's why I didn't.
Very possible.
That's very possible.
Very
but also, you
possible.
just slack me. What is she doing?
Hitting another lull here. Wondering where the pick is. Should be in any second if Moose is on his stuff. But if this is their first pick of the day, maybe the board has changed endlessly. I'd have to.
I bet he wanted a tight end and got sniped. Bet he wanted a tight end.
Okay.
That's my gut. That's my gut.
The pick is in.
Oh.
Jonah Coleman. All right.
Marshall wanted to know why Dane was so high on Tyler Oden. I'm like, I don't get it either. I don't see it either. So this is a more battering ram running back to pair with R.J. Harvey. Coleman runs angry in a good way. So we got pick 89 of the Eagles, part of the trade with the Bears. They flipped Mojo Ojomo. And then we have the Dolphins, Bills, and then the Dallas Cowboys back on the clock here. I'm looking in particular at two players. I'm looking at Zakee Wheatley. And I am looking at Jalen Kilgore right now. I'm actually going to make that the pin poll right now. You guys, hopefully there's enough time for you guys to vote if this computer wants to not spaz out on me.
Leave it to Sean Payton to get two running backs that are the exact opposite of each other. Be a good fit there.
Someone said need a pass rusher as well. That's
Yes.
what Arvell Reese is. Disagree. Pick Pick the player.
Just to remind you guys, with the third pick of our mock draft coming up here soon. Oh!
That was from earlier. That was from earlier.
Okay. I will remind you guys of the picks that we have made so far. Tom made the viral trade with the Browns to swap 12 and 20 for 6 and 39 with the Browns, which resulted in Arvell Reese at 6th overall and CJ Allen towards the beginning of the second round there. As we're getting pick 89 in, though, for the Eagles. And
Chris McClellan.
Is Chris McClellan.
That was a guy kind of like, if I can get the good defensive back, I thought about like him as a 4th-round option. I don't really want him in the top 90 necessarily. Like in the 4th round, like I would have like, okay, I could do that. I do like him. Excuse me. I don't know. The last like week, I've just been coughing randomly. Like, no fever, I'm not sick. Just keep coughing at times. All right, pick 90, Miami on the clock. Timothy has a question as well. Is C.J. Allen and Trotter the only top Mikes in the draft? So like everyone else to be outside linebackers or big safeties. I think Sonny Styles can do Mike for you as well. I think he absolutely could be. I think Hill potentially could. He's definitely a great athlete. If you mean like a thumper, like a throwback middle linebacker, Allen and Trotter do stand out there. I think maybe in a negative way of like, can they do enough? I think CJ can. I have some worries about Trotter. We're just going O-line heavy for Nick tonight. Caleb Tiernan, round 3, pick 90 out of Northwestern. So that's a little BPA action right there.
I don't hate it.
So 1 pick left here for the Cowboys before the Cowboys are back here. I think I know what I'm going to do.
All right.
I really wish Bud Clark was here. I'll start with that. I really wish Bud Clark was here. That would have made me a happy camper. I would have liked that one. But I'm getting one of the 2 guys I have my eyes on. Zakee Wheatley, Jalen Kilgore getting the vast majority of those votes, which is nice.
Hobby says pounding the table for Jalen Kilgore.
I have a plan in mind. It's a pretty even split. I think there are different pros and cons of. I think one is a better player. I think one might be a slightly better fit. Slightly.
I feel like I know which is which.
Which I think is maybe giving away my answer. But let's see what the Bills do at 91. They are on the clock here. Computer does not like all this stuff. They're taking Odenim, which I don't think he's that good of a player. I don't think that's the case. So, Cowboys on the clock. I have submitted my pick.
Bang, just like that.
We'll see how the rest of this plays out. Oh, no. Okay, I thought it froze for a second. It was going to be real bad. Tyler Odenim off the board to Buffalo. I do like him more than his teammate, Albert Regis, but those are both like earlier day 3 at best guys, not late day 2 guys. I think that they can do some productive things for you. I don't see the same level of juice in the end. So I am going to take Zakee Wheatley here, the safety out of Penn State. And what I will do here is, even though I like Jalen Kilgore, I'm going to let this draft play out, and maybe I get lucky and Kilgore falls to me at 112 and I get them both. Probably asking for too much there. I will let Wheatley play more deep safety stuff, and I will let Jalen Thompson be my nickel corner. And I will be able to juggle that value in that way. I think that the athletic upside is there for Zakee Wheatley. I know some people who have him way higher than this. This is about where I have him rated. It's actually probably still a good 20. I actually got him late 2nd. So getting him here at 92, late 3rd, I am a big fan of that. I like Robbie's idea of Darrell Jackson at 114, also very much in play for me. I think he's got real free safety range. I'm a little bit curious about how he fits in a nickel. I thought the testing, the limited one he did at the Combine wasn't what I thought it was going to be. He had a bunch of tackles this year, a bunch of tackles last year. He could fit the run. Mostly free safety. I think can do a little bit of safety and nickel stuff there. I kind of think he might go like 62. Like that might be a little bit more in his range. So to get him here at 92, I'm taking the best player, and I'm moving Jalen Thompson more full-time into nickel. And if I get a nickel later, I can buy some time to grow and develop on that front. Cowboy Robs has given Parker the Justin Simmons-type deep safety. I actually do that comparison a lot. He's not the same ball hawk guy, but I do like that comparison quite a bit, actually. Like, that type of role, I think, fits pretty well. Thompson at the nickel gives me some flexibility to make that stuff happen. All right, other picks coming in here. Deshaun Stribling out of L.A., or to L.A., the Ole Miss wide receiver, who definitely has been a riser as of late. I think there are some concerns isn't the right word I'd use, but I think just like late breakout. Let's put it that way. Maybe that's a better term for it there. Another guy that I did put on the board as an option there. And then can you make the pin poll for me? Grade the mock draft. It's bugging out too much for me to do both those things. Jayshon Barnum, the edge out of Michigan to Miami. Really fun player. He was a off-ball linebacker to begin his career. And then Michigan's like, okay, you can go play edge now. And he was actually pretty good. I don't love him in coverage. I think he's going to be an edge in the NFL. But again, like, that was a player I would have considered at 112. It's like the super cheapo version of Arvell Reese. Like, not this, like, day 3 version, essentially, of Barham. Yeah. Not, say what? Billy was right. He is the guy that headbutted the official in the Michigan OSU game and somehow did not get ejected, which blew my mind. Blew my mind. But, so, Barham at 94. Patriots on the clock now at number 95. Jacoby Lane out of USC. Tough one for me. Do you want to sell me on the good AP? Because I know that you're a fan.
I think he is probably, other than Carnell Tate, because we saw some ridiculous stuff from him this past season, I think he's the best contested catcher in the entire class. And I think his catch radius is really good. He's got good size. Maybe not the greatest athlete, but I just think he is a sure wide receiver. That's how I describe him.
He should be a great contested catch wide receiver.
Oh?
He was 10 for 23 this year.
Oh, no.
He is, I thought about it.
Else for AP.
This was almost the looks like Tarzan, plays like Jane guy.
Else for AP.
Now, he had some, like, he should be this, he's 6'4.5", he's 200 pounds, he got 32.5-inch arms. Like, he should, and he is good in the red zone. He had 12 touchdowns back in 2024. Like, he should be this, like, giant ball winner, but he lets himself get bothered by contact too much. Maybe he can add some mass and feel better there. He also got benched again in the UCLA game. Dane had a good note in his guide from NFL Scout, says, got to adopt a pro mindset fast. So there's some flags there. Let's put it that way, some flags. RIP my double dip Jalen Kilgore dreams. He goes 96 to Seattle, which they don't need him. They have him in Warrior. That's like the best case scenario for Kilgore, which is kind of crazy. Also RIP, the Darrell Jackson options. Round 3, 97. So both of those dreams we had harbored are dead. Double dip along the defensive line by Marshall, by the way.
Not
Jackson again is like this is a classic, like, not the sum of his parts. He's got the length, and he's got the size, and he's got all this other impacts, additions. Like, he's got traits that are really intriguing. He just hasn't put it together yet. That's why, like, 112, I am very intrigued. Before that, it's a little bit rich for me. A little bit rich. Couple picks left here. Eagles, and then is it Seattle and Denver, or back to Pittsburgh and Denver? Oh, he wants to take a quarterback. He's taking Nussmeier. Or Allard. Do something weird. I mean, it's definitely... Nuss is fine in the late third. Allard's quarterback class sucks.
Oh.
Brennan Thompson to Philadelphia. You want speed?
You got it.
Hot, nasty, badass speed? That's Thompson. Actually does have kind of a nice release package to, like, avoid some press. Great trivia question of who led the SEC in receiving yards this year. Brennan Thompson. Just, he's very small. He's not. He's always going to be limited. But, like, as a little day 3 pick, late second round, early day 3, I'm down with that one. I see the vision there. Pittsburgh and Denver to wrap us up here on day.
Will we see another quarterback get drafted?
Maybe. Get to Ecuador Man Super Chat here in a second. It's a very valid question from Ecuador Man, and we'll get to it. Pittsburgh. They're all trying to just like I gotta go pick up the kids. Like, stop it.
They're trying to do 4 or 5.
No, that's gonna take hours.
Imagine an impromptu extra round or 2 of this draft. All the setup that came with.
You can go, though. It's a great gift by Sam. All right, make the pick here, Sperry. There it is. Steelers pick is in finally. Let's pull it up. Bump, bump, bump.
Okay.
Markel Bell. Okay.
All right.
The big hulking offensive tackle out of Miami. Just a giant-ass human being.
Huge.
Just giant human. It's pretty crazy how large he is. I'll get the stats here in a second. Ecuador Man says, can't trust Revel or Bland. Where are the corners? Look, they signed a bunch of guys, but I can't fill nickel and outside corner and edge and linebacker with 3 picks. What we're going to do, by the way, is after this wraps up, I'll move us along with the 4th round mock off air, and then we'll post that for you guys. And I will get a corner, I'm sure, at some point. Would be my guess. Bell is, where are my notes here? 6'9 1/4, 346, 36.5-inch arms. Just unbelievable size. The weight has fluctuated. It's been as low as 335, as big as 360. Woo, kind of an issue. I think you can kind of see he's a little bit top heavy, just a little bit. But also, you're 6'9", like, do you have to be a bit top heavy? After the 8th grade, he grew an entire foot. He was 5'9" and became 6'9", which is hilarious. Leverage is a huge issue, though. Like, that's always going to be his biggest problem. Denver has drafted a linebacker, Bryce Betcher, out of Oregon. I like that pick for Denver. This was the guy that at the Senior Bowl decked his own teammate in warm-ups and like almost started a fight because he was a wee bit too ramped up, you might say. So that does it for the 3 round. I'll do it right now, and I'll do it right here. I'll sim it a little bit if it lets me. It's kind of been bugging out all night long on me. Any more super chats? Put them real quick, then we'll sign off. Get going on the rest of the show. Yeah, it is. My computer's just not happy with me. I've got my 12, 15-page doc or draft tabs going as well, and it's just like it just does not like it. It's like you've got too many tabs, like, but I need them all. I need my notes. We can do recap of the Cowboys picks. There we go. So people seem to like it as well. So Gold Fox, think of all the trades Mitch will try to do if you did do a 4th. Maybe one day we can do all 7 rounds, but I don't think that is really a likely one. Let's do a recap, and we'll do one more merch push as well after that. So just of our picks, and then we'll remind everyone. I did make the viral trade. I had it planned out in advance, which was the rules of the trades. I move up from 12. I give up 20. I get 6 and 39 back as part of that deal. I took Arvell Reese at 6, CJ Allen at 39. That would have been some combination of, let's just say it's Akeem Mesidor or Colton Hood were the other options. Maybe I could have traded down and gotten Hood and another pick. I'm probably asking for too much there. I think Reese and Allen is a much better 1-2 punch there. I did take Zakee Wheatley at 92. Thought about Jalen Kilgore. Kind of, in the end, just took the higher graded player. I've got kind of like a 2-3 on him. I got him in the 3-4 range, essentially. So I went with that plan instead, and I was hoping like maybe Kilgore will slide. Didn't happen. So we're going to play Jalen Thompson in the nickel, and that's fine for the time being in the end. So grade my Cowboys mock draft. A, B, C, D, or F. Let me know in the comments section of today's show. Cam wants to trade Bland. Yeah, remember last year when there was like the trade dig stuff? No one was trading for a hurt corner who's expensive. No one's trading for hurt corner who's expensive. It's not the cards. So Rate the mock draft A, B, C, D, or F. We'll get to Chris B. Super Chat. The merchandise deal is available for another 20-ish minutes, by the way, so stay tuned for that as well. I do agree with Justin. Gutted that we lost Bud Clark. That would have been such a good fit. Such a good fit. I think that he might be there for you in the third round, though, in real life. We'll see. Gonna be close, just like I was in this one. Chris B, love your picks in the draft. Would be pumped, but I'm prepared to not trade up and have Falk at 12 and Hood at 20 is what it is. Cowboys things. What if it's Mesidor at 12 and Hood at 20? Do you feel better about that, or the same, or worse? How do you feel about that one? So I'm not going to go trade for Kenny Moore. I decided, Billy, we don't have to worry about that. Or we can hold off on that one. Yeah, because he can start for me. I can put Hooker and Wheatley back there and do some. That's fine. Yeah, you can get your 7th from somebody else. See if Mitch wants him. All right? Kidding. He's got Teron Johnson. All right. Last call on the Cowboys Report merchandise. 20% off over at chatsports.com/Cowboys Report. That link will be in the comments section and the description of today's show. Chatsports.com/Cowboys Report. 20% off offer lasts for, call it 20 minutes. 5 p.m. Central Time, 6 p.m. Eastern. So you have time to go handle that one there. Get your 20% off on all of the Cowboys Report merchandise. Then we will have a additional picture. I got to step off and run the sim and get all the graphics built for you. But Cowboys 3-round mock draft. We'll do day 3 here in a little bit. It'll be available for you on the channel. Got to give a reason to stick around and go watch that, right? Arvell Reese, C.J. Allen, part of the Browns trade, and Zakee Wheatley in the 3rd round. Appreciate every single one who tuned in, and see you guys again in just a little bit.